Futures higher across the board here as we get going this morning after a ceasefire is announced between Iran and Israel late yesterday. Seems to be holding here to start things off this morning. Stocks across the board to the upside in a big way ahead of a key couple of days coming up here this morning. I would not want to be Jerome Powell, currently this morning set to testify in Washington, not only today but tomorrow as well. Just be aware, we are supposed to get a text release of a statement from Jerome Powell basically at any moment. I am hearing actually that has just come out. So just be aware there was a text release of a speech from Powell just dropped here this morning. So just a heads up on the overall market. But yeah, there we go. 1% right now across the board. That's the Nasdaq. Huge move after the close. If you zoom in here a little bit on that ceasefire announcement, we're holding that and then some to kick things off here this morning. Meanwhile, lots of individual movers so far this morning. We'll keep an eye on Tesla to the upside right now, but coming back in a little bit, 1.8%. Maybe there were some issues with this Austin launch. The National Highway Traffic Safety Board in the U.S. looking into apparently a couple of these vehicles driving on the wrong side of the road. So maybe some growing pains here for some of these cyber caps, but we'll keep an eye on Tesla this morning. I mean, everything benefiting from this market move right now. Oh, yeah. So Tesla included that. Apple looking pretty good here. I was noticing this morning as well. A couple other things on the chip side of things as well. I mean, just hearing NVIDIA back downside. AMD, though, is pretty strong here.
Jensen was selling up a storm yesterday, but part of the planned sale, Brendo, we knew about that he wants to sell about 6 million shares in 2025, doing some of that yesterday. The Tesla videos, I saw them. They're all over X on Elon Musk's social media platform. What I saw was it was trying to make a left turn off a lane, decided it didn't want to make a left turn for whatever reason, and then obviously if it continued in that left turn lane, it found itself in oncoming traffic. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. Obviously, you mentioned Fed Chair Powell going to be at Congress. And, you know, he's facing a lot of pressure, not only from Donald Trump, but from the Republican Party at large to cut rates. Even his own Fed presidents, Waller and Bowman, both Trump appointees kind of looking at pressuring him as well. Uber in focus today, Brendo, as well, because they're launching with Waymo out in Atlanta. Yeah. And it's going to be a very large presence that they have out there, and oil obviously selling off on the...
And correct me if I'm wrong, it's booking is on the Uber side of things, but
it is.
Otherwise, it's you know the same as what's on the West Coast. Exactly. Just hearing, guys, a couple of these comments coming through here. Again, if you missed it at 8:30 there, we did get a printed version, essentially, of the speech that Powell's going to give in Washington ahead of questioning coming up this morning at 10 o'clock. So just a heads up. I mean, the market's not really reacting to that. We had a little bit of movement on individual stocks. Still holding on to a nice 1% move here for the Nasdaq. We did move down, then kind of back up again. But as you were mentioning, oil getting absolutely cracked here this morning, down better part of $11 or more at the lows there from where we started yesterday. I mean, the futures open on Sunday, huge, massive gas up, just sold gap up, just sold off the entire day. Here we are red once again today. So, I mean, still gas prices around this city not reflecting.
Let's not talk about that, Brendo. Let's not talk about that. It's $1.44 for the cheapest gas. But what was really funny yesterday, well, not funny, but very interesting to watch, was once we got the strikes, the retaliatory strikes from Iran onto that Qatari airbase where the U.S. was, the market went up, I think, because we didn't get the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which would have a much more negative impact. There was a much limited response, and hopefully the belligerencies are behind us now.
Yeah, and it seemed like that was okay, we did something, and that was
exactly,
and that's the end of it. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyways, here we go, guys. I mean, interesting couple days to come here.
Yeah, welcome everybody. I'd say been a little bit interesting. Apparently, Iran and Israel don't know what they're doing.
Nobody does, right? The Fed doesn't have any idea. Elon has no idea.
No, Trump F-bombed it.
Are driving on the wrong.
There was an epic. It was an epic. It was the classic helicopter interview. He's on the way to the to the helicopter, and anyways, yeah. I mean, I guess there'd be it's serious, so there'd be frustrations on all sides, no question about it. It's like an everything gap up here this morning with. There's a notable exception. Circle is actually down here today after that 300 push we saw yesterday. Big heavy pullback on Circle. all the way to 242, which oddly enough, I'm bringing it up because that's exactly where it just bounced minutes ago. So Circle down 5 points when almost everything is looking up. You guys had mentioned Tesla was gapping with the rest of the market. That actually just lost 355. So could be pulling back into some afternoon support there for Tesla. Seemingly, for now, shrugging off that investigation. Well, what will now be investigation for some traffic violations. There's going to be hiccups anytime you have new technology, so I'm not surprised that there would be some issues there, but a little bit of negative press, despite the fact that Tesla's looking pretty strong. But look at the Mag 7 names. Google with a good rebound. That's looking pretty solid. It'll be interesting to see if SMCI, after that offering, can hold some of the gains as it's trying to bounce back. That'll be SSR today, short sell restricted. So the uptick rule in effect for SMCI after its plummet, as with HIMS as well, although I'd venture SMCI looks a little bit stronger than HIMS this morning. Yeah, a lot to watch this morning. For sure, it's still hot here, and the market's still hot. AMD is up 3 points, despite the fact that NVIDIA is doing absolutely nothing. AMD just continues to be relatively strong.
Yeah, what's up to Hamster One saying Roblox is breaking all the records. Yeah, man, I mean, love Roblox. We've been talking about this name, Tesla MA. There it is. We've been talking about Roblox for a minute, man. I mean, we've been long this name for a year, continuously moving higher, and I don't know, my chart has not loaded on the yearly, but Roblox up another 1%. Another name, what's going on here? JPM I want to talk about, because there goes the banks as well, right? And so if we do, get this Fed rate cut, we've seen the market. This is just showing us that the only thing that really matters in the market is the Fed and their ability to go, and they're going to go, I think. So they're going to cut that rate cycle. I don't know if we get one soon or not, but look where JP Morgan is. Rate at all-time highs again. 280.30, like 280.50.
Oh, you want me to move
I think we got to write this down as a breakout today, man. It's finally going to take out that level. We've been waiting for a minute for this one as well. There it goes, JP Morgan trying to make the best of it here and a little higher. Yeah, look, I mean, the fact that President Trump thanked Iran for their response. Like, that's like basically saying, that's nice. We took care of everything we needed to, and your response was what it was, and we appreciate you giving us a heads up and all of that. Now let's get a deal done. So I think that's why you do see, obviously things like oil, which we talked about, the August contract here, starting to just get down. I mean, we have now much more calmer heads, hopefully trying to prevail here. And there goes oil back down to the downside. So if they're not going to close that Strait of Hormuz, then yeah, it's not going to be too devastating for oil. Remember, that strait is primarily Asian and sort of Middle East oil there. That's not, the United States doesn't care too much about that, but the price of oil does. And the thing is, now think about this. How is Iran and Russia and all that going to pay for all of this, right? By flooding the market, and that's what winds up happening here with oil. Iran's going to have to sell. I mean, they just sent, I don't know, it wasn't too many missiles, but what is this costing Iran over the last 2-3 weeks, right? They're going to have to, make that money back on their export, which is energy. So there goes energy to the downside. As everyone knows, there's no reason in keeping this higher, putting more money in their pockets. So Trump came out yesterday and was like, no. Oil should be where it is, if not lower, and that's where it goes. So bye-bye oil and everything like that, but hello Nasdaq. I mean, what a market here. We are 541, right? Let me see what E-Signal has as the all-time high here. Just 540.80, it looks like right here. 540.80, the all-time high made back in February on the Nasdaq. So we're getting close to that again, 540.80. I mean, the real question is, do we get that today? I mean, only 3 points higher, $3 higher here on the Nasdaq, and you get that. We just gapped overnight 5, 6. So yeah, I think if we can get up to, 1.8% or so today, if we get close to 2%, we break the all-time high on the Nasdaq and probably pretty close as well to the SPY. I mean, that all-time high rate here is probably going to be in the same day. Yeah, 613. So 613 for the SPY, and we're currently trading right now at 604. So yeah, you're like 0.5% away on both markets before we get there. And the United States has been a laggard, right? I mean, Canada broke all-time highs a while ago, keeps making them. Across the world, there's all-time highs being made every single day. It's about time right now that the U.S. market hits it. And then what a good story from Uber. I mean, we were just talking yesterday, like, we should sell some Uber. Yeah. And then there we go, man. Nice move to the upside. But you know what? This war or this threat is not over. It's just right now seems to be somewhat contained until the next leg.
That's it. Even even if there is one, I think the market has shown again. It's not the biggest concern out there. I think we sort of shift back to, hey, what's the end rate for tariffs at the end of the day? What's going to be going on with our rate cuts at the end of the? Are we getting any rate cuts this year? I think those are the types of things that we'll be concerned about. And it's not to say that you don't have action, because if you're trading energy names, I know, like yesterday in the morning, like you would have been bullish on a lot of energy. Like Indo's a perfect example. I mean, 22% down. It's down 22 points after it got cut in half at one point yesterday. So like it's serious for anybody that was trading these energy names. And the president did say bring oil prices down and warned everybody, and that's why the flip yesterday. But I think some continuation maybe on that theme. If there's any kind of relief rally, I want to sell into it, at least specifically on Indo. And the sad thing about it for anyone that was trading those energy names, if you were to the long side, is just the degree to which that I think there was some traps that were set out there. Like this would, like XOM. I mean, XOM obviously is not Indo and it's doing much better, but this was looking like it was primed for a really good move to get to its highs, and suddenly the reversal candles all look bad on the the oil names, but some of them are like egregious. Like that is a huge engulfing candle. You just lost that 200 period. Yeah, I'm shorting pops. Specifically in Indo, but if that doesn't do anything, I might look over at an XOM or something back into the 200 period moving average. Yeah, a lot of longs in energy trapped, I think. They're probably going to still somewhat unwinding to do in the next week. To the desk.
All right, a few other things moving around here. I talked about this one a little bit this time yesterday morning. Resolve AI was announced early yesterday. This thing's going into both the Russell 2000 and 3000 indexes. Friday, I believe it is, 27, will have this inclusion, but up big time here again this morning. We did get a bit of a sell-off throughout the day. We actually closed way down here at $2. We're back to 230, so starting to go again for Resolve. There was a couple things on Amazon. JP Morgan with a nice note on Amazon this morning, reiterating overweight. There's also a story out of the UK, a little bit less significant, but I mean, this thing's up with the market anyway.
They're continuing to throw around that money, Brendo. We saw how much they want to spend on CapEx for the year when they talked about their data centers. And part of that, $40 billion, is going to be spent in England and not for data centers. They're building out their infrastructure there for retail. So about, as I mentioned, $40 billion. 4 new fulfillment centers going to be upgraded upgrading the logistics at existing centers. They're going to add about 4,000 jobs, Brendo. And it's not a bad look here, as well as getting into film studios out in Berkshire. So not just retail, but looking at doing the film thing as well.
I had a really interesting experience over the past couple of days with Amazon. We ordered a couple of things off the site going back to, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, and it was supposed to come the next day. They came at 5 a.m.
What?
And tried to like get into our building and like whatever. We didn't answer the phone, obviously. So they left, and it didn't update on the site when the next attempt was going to be to drop it off. So I called late last night, and almost an hour later, it was sitting at my door. I have no idea how that happened, but almost an hour later,
figured his way in somehow.
It was sitting at my door.
Oh my
so
gosh.
it was just maybe the site didn't get updated, but I was pretty impressed.
I'm
didn't even speak
surprised
to a
that they're
human.
even sending delivery drivers that early. Maybe because buildings have concierges some of the time, so you can actually receive the package.
It was impressive, though. I mean, it's tough to beat at this point across the board. But thoughts, guys? Amazon?
Oh, I've had some. That's just Amazon magic right there. Don't even worry about it. Just things just get done, and they find a way to make it work. And on top of that, if it doesn't work, they make it pretty easy to get your money back, or whatever. Like I've never had anything but positive experiences. When I was in a condo, it's a similar thing. Like sometimes sometimes you'd see like magic things pop up in there when they couldn't deliver, but shout out to them. I think you're getting a lot out of Amazon right now in terms of where your exposure is going to be. And we were talking about this yesterday, whether it's, they got the customizable chips, trying to battle NVIDIA a little bit. Of course, you even get streaming, which no one ever talks about. That's a good way for them to keep people into the ecosystem. Love Amazon. At the end of the day, I think a lot of stocks are going to have a similar setup. I kind of have 211 highlighted in here. Like if you're looking at the gaps that we have, so many names, Apple would be included in this, where you look at some of the resistance, like all the resistance from yesterday up top in 211. You go into Friday as well, where you had some resistance in there, and then you're gapping above and trying to hold it. So it's that classic stair-step move. Amazon's a name that has plenty of room to get to the top. I don't know if we get another stab at that 200 period anytime soon, unless something kind of drastically happens. Feels like we're headed right back in, at least for a retest of 219. I think you hold that prior high, like a lot of names. I mean, the example I said was Apple, where very similar. You're gapping above, and you had 2-day resistance at 202. You're just looking to hold the gap on both these names, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got a bit of a dip at the open. Like there was heavy selling before the rally yesterday, and we've seen a lot of these stocks do that. So I don't see any reason not to be a little bit patient and just assume that, hey, we're going to go straight up from here. That's not how the market's been. Like we've gotten a lot of big reversions in the market. So on an up day, I expect to see some good dip buys today.
Sharif must have just saw Mitch. Money Mitch.
I was like, what?
There's a very strong relationship between Sharif and Money Mitch over there. So we'll definitely.
There he is.
Definitely likes it. There he is. What's up, Money Mitch over there? Yeah, there you go. He's
showing the guns.
He's flexing. I mean, the market right now flexing for sure, as we are at all-time highs right now. Yeah, I have Amazon 213. Looking to come into play here. I don't know why my Amazon's saying NY there. But yeah, this is going to be a good break level here today. I feel like if there's going to be anything that's trying to get a little strong, what about Amazon? Trying to take down, I wrote down 213. The high right now is 212. Any dip buys into 208 is great for AMZN here today, but the biggest of the bears looks like it wants to go as well. Big Bear AI up again today, 1.6%. So this looks like it could possibly want to go too, trying to break through some of these levels. There's lots to go through with Big Bear AI. All right, man, look, I can't keep talking when we've got Sharif and Money Mitch ready to go. So let's throw it back over to the desk.
All right, as mentioned, let's bring him right in because there's a lot to touch on here. I want to start off with Tesla. Mitch is back. It's Tuesday. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah. It's a great one, man. Had a great competition, made over $500,000 in the competition, and can't be mad. Even made a $500,000 trade. So can't be mad about that, guys. You guys got to check out the opportunities that Trade the Pool offers to you just to at least test your skills sometimes, right? I mean, it was a great test of skill. I haven't had the $1 million to trade with in the past, so they didn't do too bad. And one person even made $1.6 million.
Okay, I was going to say, don't leave us hanging here. Where did you end up on said leaderboard when all
I was in 12th place. Okay. I was in the top 10 on the final trade. I just said, you know what, let's go for it, right? I mean, it's a competition in the end. So knocked myself a little bit down there. I was in 4th on the last day, but just kept pushing the gas pedal there. But Coinbase, man, if I would have just stuck with that trade, remember last week, talked about that because you looked at Hood was taking off. I say a lot of times I trade what's called leader to laggard style, right? So you'd watch for a leader in an industry and then you watch it drip down. This happens all the time. And right there, Coinbase just taking off 20% since when we brought it up on Tuesday last week. And then Tesla, of course, also mentioned last week. I talked about it. Robotaxi coming. Let's get ahead of it. Well, there it is. And what I loved was yesterday, everyone was commenting, but what about the guy in the front seat? Did he break the car? Was he there? Did he need it? Only thing that mattered yesterday was that the technical levels held It was right there by the trend line, and this was as easy as it goes. Right out the gates, it just greened right through that trend line and didn't stop. Now I think we continue to look for it to run away here. I'm actually looking for Tesla to keep pushing. It could be at 400 before we know it. If we're going to go to all-time highs, Tesla's a name I want to have.
Do you care about this stuff this morning, Mitch, with these cars? Apparently, a couple of them ended up on the wrong side of the road, and there's an investigation now. And I mean, like maybe
there's always going to be something, right? I mean, look at the Waymos, right? When they first started, there was plenty of things that had gone wrong with it, right? I mean, there was one that like kind of got stuck in the middle of the road and couldn't even like move or whatever. And this is going to happen, guys. The key is that they're coming. And just that alone brings investors interest, and that's why we're going to see other companies moving too. There's a company called Ouster that got some LiDAR kind of drone detection kind of approved, and that stock has been just ripping towards the moon. So you got to keep looking for winners right now. We're in the stock pickers environment like I've ever seen it, guys. It's not just the whole market going higher here. You have to stay with the names that are strong. Like Hims, she's a goner.
The guy beside me is very excited about crypto. Sharif wants to talk a little bit about crypto.
Let's go. What's up, Sharif?
What's going on, Mitch? Good to see you. I love the jersey, by the way, man. Shout out to Orlando FC repping. I love that look, Mitch. Look, today we got Tim Scott, Cynthia Loomis. They're coming out with a new regulatory framework for crypto at large. They're going to define when the SEC is involved, when the CFTC is involved. You're nodding your head. I know you know about this issue between kind of both agencies. One wants to dominate, the other one weaseling in. We obviously saw a big drop in crypto over the weekend. What's your look here going forward, Mitch?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday you saw it lift right back up. So the way that I see it is that, and I know that some people don't view it, but I think crypto has been leading this rally to begin with. If we really think back, it started to drive higher, and everyone was mentioning how it decorrelated for a second there. The correlation came back in, and crypto led higher. Then we had, of course, some choppy time. We've been in that choppy time. We got a little pullback in the weekend, and the big part of that, crypto trades 24 hours versus how our markets were closed for some time when the war situation was happening. So of course that pullback happened. But what happened once they came back online? Well, you saw Bitcoin also follow through with the market. So I think that if we're going to go to all-time highs, Bitcoin continues to push higher. I'm actually looking at Ethereum, ETHU, with a nice setup, because what did it do? It did a nice little bull trap where it just washed them. It washed the prior levels. Now it got below that support. So now I'm looking what's called an undercut and rally, where you see high volume after a support cut, and then it rallies through prior resistance. So that's what I'll be watching for in Ethereum. ETHU, nice little setup.
Let's go on to semiconductors here. AMD coming back in right now, but still up significantly here over the past few days, Mitch. I mean, is this just a rotation type of thing?
This has to do with more along a favorite that was forgotten. I think that everyone wanted to see AMD do really well this year, and it was on top of a lot of picks at the beginning of the year. A lot of times when that happens, what happens, right? There's an early load up of shares, right? Well, then the market kind of went through that tough time. It got hit down, and I think it got forgotten for a little bit there. Then AMD had an event that I think most didn't pay attention to it. Right now, there's one thing. It's OpenAI and Sam Altman. If you get the backing of Sam Altman, yeah, follow those picks right now, because those picks seem to be doing very well, right? We've all seen the run in CoreWeave, and now AMD got the support of their product at the event, and since then, AMD's been on a run. I talked about it early here at the 116 level. Now, it's on takeoff mode, and I think this could continue to run. One of the signals that's going to tell you if it's going to really get going is also NVIDIA moving. But I think at this point, AMD will outperform NVIDIA, so that's why I'd like AMD here. And just to mention one more in space that I think closely to watch here, GFS, a forgotten name that was a very, very prominent IPO that is kind of forgotten here. I think this is one that could start going to also on a trend break, like a swing trade. And I think that these are what these are. These are trend trades really taking off.
Yeah, not a lot of volume behind that right now this morning, but Global Foundry is an interesting idea here. All right, let's narrow down. What are we looking at as we head towards the open here? I mean, we get Powell at 10 o'clock this morning. Maybe, who knows, more headlines to come out of the Middle East as well. How are you going to approach today?
Yeah, it's going to be tough today, guys, because it's just in the worst timing, right? When it happens in the first hour of the day, I think the first hour of the day is going to be chop, right? There's going to be up and down moves all around. So just be careful with that choppy action. Right now, it's all about seeing what happens in the afternoon, I think, today. So look to see what happens then to actually determine trend. I think that out the gates, yes, you can do some trades, but look to just get those nice base hits. Selling the rips, buying the dips seems to be working right now. So we'll see if that continues to work today. There are some names that have been hot, and you can continue looking out there. Even the renewable duos, GEV got a nice little lift yesterday. CEG, I'm looking for NRG to go ahead and play up to. That has a nice flag. Really good name there to kind of keep watching as we see these energy names really take off. Nuclear plays still holding on. SMR is hanging out there after NNE. I've talked about that one plenty of times. It's really kind of lifting. So look for SMR to play off that 9 EMA on the daily and really start to make the next move higher.
Yeah, nice bounce back for those. Nice bounce back for Quantum today as well. Competition come and gone. What's next over at Trade the Pool?
Yeah, Trade the Pool, guys. We're pushing to the next level. Of course, we have the flexible ideas, right? The flexible evals. And I think that this is really the next step in prop trading. A lot of times you have this 45-day, you have to get it done within this window. Well, we opened up the window, infinite. And that's what it's all about, guys. So come check us out on Trade the Pool. If you're looking to trade, you're looking to test your skill, if you're looking to see if you could actually make it as a day trader, because that's what I always say. Prove it first and then bring your savings into your trading. Not first bring your savings and then expect to make the profits, right? Wish you guys the best of luck. Get after it and go get that market. Amazon, what about Shopify off of that Amazon move?
I like it. I like it. Mitch Hoke over at Trade the Pool. Good to see you as always.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go trading.
Like that old Canada action, get that Shopify in there right at the end. Mitch, appreciate you. Look, I like crypto. You know what? Make correction. I like Bitcoin. And a lot of times, and we'll say it interchangeably, but you got to be clear sometimes. IBIT, I'm looking at this one today. I had a peek over at ETH to see if there was anything that I was in love with. Not really. I like that 104 level coming back in. The fact that you bounced, what I'm showing IBIT, effectively 100 was the low. So you can look at that spike on the intraday, and that's basically your $100,000 level. And then if we come back to 104, like that's where a bunch of support has been before. If we end up with a completely inside day, I'd be a little bit surprised. I'm expecting dip buys, but I'm also willing to break it out this local high at 60.40 on IBIT. So crypto's on my mind, but specifically with IBIT, I'd have one, just going down the line there. We were talking about this in the afternoon, Coinbase and whomever was selling this at 310, because there were some moments yesterday where you had Circle and Coin doing a lot of the same things for the last few sessions. And yesterday there was a bit of a divergence where Coin was selling off despite the fact that Circle was going up. Eventually Circle pulled back in. Now you've got Coin to the upside, up 1 point, with Circle down 7.5%. So I think at this point you can sort of forget about any idea of like the one-to-one. Like yesterday, I did actually take a trade breaking down in Coinbase because I saw Circle fail 300. I'm not sure that's going to be there today. Coin looks stronger. It's out above that 310 level. Meanwhile, Circle's at the low of the day. So I think you've got to detach these two from one another after a couple of great sessions where really you just go long one and the other one's also going. You just pick your poison. Not really the same thing here today. With Circle's weakness. I do believe we are locked and loaded. See what kind of upgrades and downgrades we've got going with the Dara.
Some interesting ones here on both sides of the board. We're going to start with Electronic Arts getting an upgrade this morning and $185 price target from Roth Capital. Then we have Lyft, LYFT moving higher. We know Uber as well with the Waymo headline, but Lyft here aided by a TD Cowen upgrade. Then we have Next Decade with also getting upgraded by TD Cowen and Citizens JMP giving the nod to Capital Southwest. The downgrade side of things, we're kicking it off here with Advanced Auto Parts or AAP getting downgraded by Goldman Sachs. And this is really interesting. Alibaba up more than 1% right now, but getting a downgrade from Arete. Oscar Health, which we've actually talked about quite a lot as of late, getting a downgrade today from Raymond James. And RH, earnings a couple weeks ago. Goldman Sachs giving this one a downgrade. Back to you.
hate for Baba, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking at Oscar Health right there. I mean, they got downgraded. It's a name that I've liked. I've liked Oscar Health, so I think that's a name that got downgraded here today. So, you know, a name that got a huge pop up. There's about 11% short float or so. If we can get this name even back down, I mean, it's $20 right now. We could see about getting this into 19 or so. That looks like a good area that we sort of broke through before. You know, this is again another name that's trying to change the game in the healthcare industry. We'll just, you know, UNH trying to battle back. The space has gotten hit. But I like this name, a new name. And I don't know too much about the company other than it's the way it trades has been fantastic. Breaking out through $18, through $19, 11% short float here. Again, if it does pull back anything decent, I think this is a good buy, add to sort of the portfolio there. I don't have too much in the health space at all. I've got Eli Lilly, I've got AbbVie, but those are more biotech names, obviously no healthcare names. I don't have UNH or anything like that, or Humana, but I do have the Dow. But anyways, $19 or so for Oscar. If that can come in, then great. On the downgrade, it's not even really down that much. It's actually done 500,000 shares. So that might be a couple block orders, but yeah, so far so good there. Oscar Health, if it does come back in, I like the play. It's like one of those social media names that I know can get going, so you know, anything around there is pretty decent for me. Let's call it 19, but right now it's $20.50. I'm not sure it gets that low. I don't know, man. The Nasdaq's still up 1% and trying to hold here, obviously with Powell. You know, his prepared speech is already there, though. Yeah. It's just more about the Q&A at this point.
And it's a long. Also prepare for some grandstanding with Powell there. You know how everyone, when they ask their question, they got to get their, 5 minutes, not 5 minutes of fame, but everyone's up for re-election at some point. So it gets a little bit theatrical. Alibaba kind of stood out there, but I don't care too much about upgrade, downgrade. I just want Baba to break the wedge, and then you can start doing something a little bit more fun. Like you've got higher lows, you get the 200 period. So I mean, either it's breaking support here at 110 and then maybe look for some shorts at some point, or we break this little downward trend with these spikes upside, and we can resume maybe thinking about this as a bit of a long. So it's certainly consolidating, ready to make its next move. It's just a matter of when it's going to do it. It's not dissimilar. I'm only throwing this up because Uber broke. Well, I shouldn't say broke because technically today hasn't really finished yet, but as you can see, like that little downward trend it had from the high, smaller one than Alibaba, but they're not the same thing. It's broken out the top of that, so resuming back into the high. That's what I want to see Alibaba do. Maybe there's not enough going on to have that happen today, but once it does, in either direction, I think you're going to want some trades in either way once it happens. So if we don't break 110 or we don't get back above the 50-period moving average, I don't trade Alibaba until either one of those two things happen. And I really don't care what direction. I'm just willing to play the break in either direction.
Instead of, we were just, Sharif and I were just talking about Canadian CPI. We got inflation data on this side of the border, which was actually better than expected. Core was the one they were worried about. It was 2.6% last time. 2.6% was the forecast, comes out 2.5%. So overall, the headline number, 1.7%.
So those people are not buying steaks, Brendo.
No.
Because I saw $100 steaks at Costco on the weekend. Yeah.
Individual.
Well, no, it was like 1.5 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite, but it was still expensive. All right, guys. ES September contract. We've moved on to the new contract now. We're well above 6,100 with the overnight high 6,143. We're currently trading a little bit below 6,120. So here's the deal: 6,100 as support, Brendo. 6,150 as resistance.
As always, if you have not done so yet, make sure you take a second, jump down to the description of this video. Top link in the description will get you to the sign up page for the watch list. It's free, so just go do it right now. Why not? It has everything on it in the pre-market that is moving around and why. All you need to know coming into the day. 7%. We'll start with weakness or potentially here. 7% to the downside right now for Circle after the monster run over the past week. It's been just an absolute monster to the upside. We got some pretty heavy selling that came in midday yesterday. It really didn't bounce into the close, and here we are giving more back today. If we get a bit of a reversal in the overall market and start heading downside again, might be one to look at.
Absolutely, and especially with Compass Point initiating coverage on this one, Brendo, after the IPO. With a neutral rating and a price target of $205, the analyst acknowledges that Circle is a leader in the regulated stablecoin industry, but there are concerns over distribution limitations as well as a valuation that they say is a little stretched at the moment. Excuse me for 1 second over here while I just make this on all desktops. All right, so Circle is the largest regulated issuer offering programmable features, for example, smart contracts, chargeback, AI integration as well. However, analysts are noting that distribution in this game is king, and the success will depend on Circle's ability to reach mainstream users beyond, the regular crypto platforms. And the current distribution here relies very, very heavily on Coinbase and Binance, with 60% of their revenue coming from these two partners and 50%, Brendo, coming from just Coinbase alone. They say this model may make it harder for Circle to negotiate favorable terms with new mainstream partners. 50% from one source.
Yeah, we'll see if there's follow through here to the downside. Just keep an eye on Robinhood. I was just hearing Vlad on CNBC. Yeah. I don't see him right now, but not really doing anything for Robinhood, but also crypto related, guys.
Yeah, I think we've been saying this. If you're going to trade something in the space, they're not all always moving together. Kind of pick your poison. If you're on Hood, you're on Hood. If you're on Coin, you're on Coin. Maybe those are a little better correlated. Circle was definitely doing its own thing on that sell-off. But the good thing, and I saw in the chat, Satinderjeet actually noted something that I've been following the last couple of days in trading Circle, pulling back but in an orderly fashion at regular intervals, what you say. And I think that makes some sense, because if you go back to Friday, it dips. It was a heavy dip at the open. I know it's witching, so maybe that exacerbated some of the move. But right into the prior high, bounce. It gave another little reversion, nice bottoming tail candle, bounce. Yesterday, it pulled into afternoon support at 2:30, bottoming tail candle right at the open, and then rallied. And then when we had the drop, like the big drop on the 300 fail, it pulls right into the prior day high and bounces twice. So I think just waiting around for a key level to dip into, get any bottoming tail candle like these ones, it just does it several times, is try to get that mean reversion trade. If we don't hold 230, which is the first stop, I think the 210 level is going to make some sense. Make an argument for 220 as well, but I put down 210 and 230 as the places I'm looking for that bounce. And this is not, that setup isn't one where you're just sitting on the bid. It's hanging out a couple of bars on a 3-minute and then reversing. So I think just looking for that patient dip buy, unless you really want to be crazy. And I don't want to be selling it down here. I feel like resistance was up at that 70 that we tried to break out in the afternoon yesterday and quickly got away from it, thankfully. So I'm going to be waiting for that little mean reversion trade, just like the last couple of days, 230 first, 210 as well for Circle. It's just a little bit different. I don't want to be playing breakouts on it today.
Okay, so for me, for Circle, I mean, we just got to play momentum, right? I mean, that's the kind of trader. I try to play support and resistance and momentum. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. Try not to complicate anything and, try to make cash. I mean, so looking up here, 266, I don't think we get up to there, but that would be huge to get those kind of a level. So I'm just looking at VWAP, to be honest with you, 250 to 252. I think if it pops up into there, we short it. But I don't want to short anything. Like, I don't want to sit here and short. I think the best thing to do would be wait until we get something like this. Like, part of the game here on trading is being patient, right? Like, if you missed that 300 there, you're like, oh man, I missed it. It's down $8, but it comes right back. So some of those, like, I think this is a trap here a little bit, what happened yesterday around 1040, because this kind of looks like it's getting toppy, right? And then you're thinking that, but instead it does this. But you need to have an out. So that's where I'm thinking, like, into here. If you're using the, if you're using the 200 period, it goes once, twice, thrice. You hit it all 3 times and you're good. And then right into here, if you're using VWAP and or actual levels of 268, then you're good as well. So for Circle, it's not on the sticky note, but maybe it should be. It's just I don't know what to write down. I would just write down, wait for resistance to show up. And wherever that is, then you can play off those levels. And, the rewards are just in a matter of how many shares you use. Because if you're going to use light shares and this thing goes down $5, great. But if you hit it, you can actually make, a decent number there to the downside. So we talk about, holding on to something. We saw Tesla yesterday had that huge move off the open. I wonder if Circle's going to do something again like that. Like, this is a monster move. That's $50, to the downside. That's $50 up. That's $50 down. It's actually more than that. That is $60 up, $50 down. And then right there into this morning, we closed yesterday, let's just say we go 270 if you're short, you go all the way down to 230. That's another, $30. So there's a lot of violent moves here in Circle. I just think you need to find a top and watch out for your spread, right? I mean, you're going to lose a little bit of net there just in the slippage alone. But even though right now I'm looking at this, I can't believe it's only 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents here in the pre-market. So lots of volume, 6 million shares done on Circle today. I think if you're looking here, you're looking in the right space.
As we were saying earlier, if you joined us between 8:30 and or 8 and 8:30 and 9, what am I talking about? Mitch was with us. We were talking about Tesla a little bit. Maybe there were a few issues with this robotaxi launch over the weekend in Austin. A few ventures into oncoming traffic, or potentially anyway. So an investigation has been launched into that. I mean, this seems like growing pains. The market clearly doesn't care. It's up 2% here. You found the actual video, though, so we'll maybe show that or get to it.
Yeah, we'll show it right here, Brendo. Let's start. So this is it in the left turn lane. You can see it's about to make a left. Then the steering wheel panics. Left, right, left, right. Oh, no, I'm in oncoming traffic. Let me get back in the right lane. Oh, I can't. So I'm I'm going through double red, yellow lines there, and then it finds itself in the next left turn lane. So clearly that's a mistake there. It would have found itself in front of a vehicle had there been another vehicle in that left turn lane. So a bit of an issue with that, but I'm sure nothing that can't be fixed through a software update. We know how this thing does. It uses their neural network, so it's constantly learning. So the U.S. auto safety regulators, Brendo, contacted Tesla after video showed a robotaxi driving erratically, as we showed there in Austin, including one going the wrong way and another braking abruptly in traffic. The NHTSA confirmed it is gathering more info and may investigate for potential safety defects, as it did with FSD Beta. Tesla has not issued a comment, and the NHTSA reiterated it does not pre-approve vehicles, Brendo, but it intervenes if the if the public safety is compromised. Just to give you an idea about the unsupervised launch of this, the fleet is limited to about 24 cars operating only in good weather and during daylight. Access is through invitation only. It's basically a bunch of Tesla enthusiasts or influencers so that they can post on it on social media. And Tesla does trail, let's be honest about it, in commercial deployment. Waymo has completed over 10 million rides. China's Baidu, WeRide, Pony AI, Brendo, they're all leading the race so far.
Yeah, I mean, timeline is not comparable, obviously. So, I mean, they got to start somewhere. But I mean, if you're Elon, you want as much data as possible from all of this. So, I mean, this almost seems like a positive.
And Tesla's, let's be honest, is the leader in that because it's collecting all that FSD stuff and that's being sent back for analysis.
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure it's a software type of fix. 2% now, guys, trying to get going here once again for Tesla.
I don't know. I follow some Instagram accounts, and every day in Brampton, that's driving like that.
I think people are doing that everywhere.
So I just want to say, like, that is just driving cars. And I see that, literally worse than that every single day. I forget what the account is called, but those of us that aren't, you have to be around the GTA to probably follow and care about that. But no, look, I think it's a big, jokes aside, I do think that's a big mistake. I mean, you don't want to be driving in the wrong lanes and things like that. But the idea also was there was no oncoming vehicles there. I think Tesla would have reacted a little bit differently there. I know in my car, it yells and screams at me if I get even close to another car. So I feel like, it would have definitely stopped there if there were any issues. I have Tesla written on the sticky note right here, and it's just, of course, I mean, I think they'll fix any sort of a problem there. But I have Tesla written down as a 350 long if we dip down, but I don't think we're going to do that right now. Yesterday's trade on basically take the pre-market break of 328. We missed it. We got 329, and then the rest, like I was saying, man, that's straight up $20 yesterday, if not more than that. So up $25, up $30, almost up to $260 yesterday from $328. So the move really got going there on that robo-taxi news. Obviously, we know Waymo. I don't even want to really consider that as it's competition, but we've known about it. So the market is not like not a new entrant into the building here or anything like that. So for me on Tesla, if we can get 350, that's just yesterday's closing price. Like that's where I was thinking as the market, as I'm writing this sticky note, right? The market's coming back down. This is when we went on the air at 8:30. We were down to 350, 353. So we were only $3 away from that level. Do I think we can get there? Yes. Do I think we will? Probably not. So, you know, to 200 periods at 350, 350, that's good enough for me if we dip down. Or we just probably have to wind up playing that break again, which coincides with yesterday. So I wrote down that I didn't really like any break levels, but now we're really close to it, man. So now we're at 358. So that could definitely pop through 358 there today. So yeah, I really like Tesla. I'd prefer a dip by opportunity, but 358, if it's there, it's there, and I think it's going to be there early. I don't know. That's just that's what we're looking at, man. I was really surprised when I got punched in at 310 on Tesla the other day. And, you know, I think we'll be surprised today as well how fast we get up to that 360 area. So there it goes, man. We said 360 by last Friday. That didn't happen. It looks like it's 360 by Tuesday. So congratulations, anybody that had a week extra in their options, as Tesla right now just continues to be that name that everyone wants it to be. Just got to break through, and then you'll see 420, 480, and then hopefully back to some of these highs. So yeah, Tesla's working for right now. Will it work all day? I mean, the market's not moving here, so we'll wait maybe for some imbalances to get an idea, but yeah, I like the long. I don't like the short.
I'm with you as well there. I'm going to just quickly, CCL just reported they beat top and the bottom lines. Now remember, CCL, when they report, you're still going to wait. I haven't heard anything on guidance. There's going to be obviously a conference call a little bit later. I don't know why they report at 9:15, but a beat on the top and the bottom lines. So far, it went about 60 pennies to the upside and right back. It was gapped up as well. And remember, when we talk about oil, the travel names were good yesterday because it was a relief rally and everything that was battered down because of the recent conflict. Tesla, in my note, I had 347 to 350, and it's kind of like Circle. Like, look at the heavy pullback and reversion that it did. Like, to me, that's a trend. If we get down there, I want to play trend breaks anywhere in that region. I think underneath 347, you're running into a little bit of trouble, and we have to. I'd have to maybe look to see how much I like the long for underneath 347. But as long as you're in that pocket on a reversion, I want to play a mean revert on any dip buy. I also put a 358 breakout. It didn't get there at any point. 357.50-ish was the overnight highs if you pulled up Blue Ocean or OTC Moon. It didn't get to 58, but I still like the even break a little bit better than just some random price that it hit at like 9 o'clock. Let's talk a little bit about oil. And remember, as oil got crushed, you can play those with names like CCL, travel names rebounding as well.
All right, yeah, let's touch on oil here. Here's the two-day look. It just absolutely crushed right out of the gate yesterday. This is the futures. So we opened at 78, coming off a huge gap to the upside on Sunday, and then just straight downside ever since then. If you zoom in a little bit here, that's what happened yesterday. As equities opened specifically, futures got absolutely hammered here. So we're kind of holding. So there's that. But if you missed it, again, ceasefire seems to be holding between Iran and Israel.
Hopefully it'll hold, Brendo. So yeah, oil futures, as you know, fall sharply after Donald Trump announced a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, easing the fears of obviously supply disruptions in the region. Oil had surged nearly 10%, as you see there on your chart, since mid-June on heightened tensions and direct U.S. military involvement in the region. A major wild card during the conflict was the potential of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil flows. Barclays did warn that an actual closure would likely send oil past $100 due to limited alternatives for export. So hopefully that won't take place. Just to give you an idea here, Iran produced about 3.3 million barrels per day in May. That's per OPEC, making it a significant contributor, obviously, of global supply. Despite escalations, the broader Middle East supply chain remained intact, helping ease the tensions. And the IEA confirmed, Brendo, that 1.2 million barrels are in emergency reserves and can be used if needed, much like the strategic oil reserve in the United States.
Some of the individual names following suit here, as we saw yesterday to the upside, right back down here this morning, guys.
INDO was the one that I traded yesterday. I want to go back to that well, for lack of a better term. I just think there's still more that it could fall back in. If this ends up being, an overall nothing burger of a shock, then the names that went the most up can come down the most. Obviously, $3. If you look back, I'm zooming out so you can see $3 is a good support level. There's room to get there. When you're going over your note and all that kind of stuff, we were breaking toward $4 before we came on air here, right when I put my note out. I thought a chance to get to 420 or 460, the two levels I like for reversion. Since then, it's dropped 10%, so that $4 level is starting to look maybe reasonable. I still like the 420 and the 460, but I might have to pivot to the pre-market highs here if we get a chance. I'm looking for continuation. Obviously, like yesterday, you got to be willing to flip on a dime. If something drastic happens and oil starts spiking, then you don't just sit on the offer. But yesterday it was a breakout long until President Trump literally said, let's bring oil prices down. And, well, you saw what happened the rest of the day here. And then, of course, the fact we now have a ceasefire bodes well. So I'm looking to short some pops here in INDO specifically.
All right, yeah, for me, we looked at oil a little bit here. I think you can actually trade some of this today, on our account as well. If you're trading here at Real Trading, you can trade the CL contract. So right here, nice move back in. I think you're going to get a dip buy opportunity to go long. Like if we can get it at $64, right now we're at $65.40 here for oil. I think it's just overdone. I think that move downside is overdone. The world still operates on oil and energy production in China. I think get going. The U.S. economy is still producing, factory workers still going. We have a lot of plastic products that require production, and oil's there, right? I mean, sure, Tesla and some of these other companies looking to, automate and go EV and all that kind of stuff, factories, robots, everything. But at the end of the day, they still need to be made. And I think it's just overdone. We had some nice excitement there on Saturday, Sunday, I guess, when sort of, the bigger bombs and all that kind of were dropped by the United States. And then we had a big move down yesterday, followed again here today. And we have Trump talking about China has to buy their oil, some from Iran, some from the United States. So, I think there's still going to be a lot of oil pressure here at some of these levels. So let's just wait to see. The Ukraine-Russia war is not finished yet. And I think there's more to go where we are right now with this current tension. So for me, I think oil, although the shorts in some equities definitely seem to be there, I think this move is just a little bit much, man. You're down another 5% today after having this huge move, 10%. Like we were at yesterday, $75. Closing $67, right? So down $8 there yesterday and down another 3 or 4 today. I think oil is at a bouncing spot. So for me, this is a good level, man. The 50-period moving average, 63.50 for crude is not a horrible level for me at all there. So we'll look at that. And then if that does bounce, you want to look at XOM and Occidental and some of those plays as well. So, all right, let's go back over to Brendo.
VinFast is making moves, and today you can hear directly from the source. At 2:40 p.m. Eastern, the VP of Investor Relations will be joining a live Webull webinar to share insights on where the company's headed and why VinFast, ticker VFS, is gaining serious attention in the global EV market. Don't miss this exclusive session. Head over to Webull.com/webinar to register. We're going to actually get that person from the IR team on our show coming up here in the next little while as well. So we'll talk to them about what's happening with VinFast. Let's go to some of these quantum and nuclear names. If you're with us again to start the show, we were talking with Mitch a little bit. This group's been on his radar for a long, long time. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was kind of a laggard yesterday, but bouncing back here nicely this morning.
Yeah, they had that offering. I think one of them had the $200 million offering yesterday. Today, we get more leveraged ETFs here being launched, Brendo, by TraderTR, a company called Trader, launching 2 different leveraged ETFs, one for QUBT and one for Rigetti. The tickers are going to be QUBX and RGTU. Again, 2 times daily exposure, so not a bad look. And looking to recover here, already up for QUBT anyway, 3 1/3.
Yeah, so I mean, SMR as well just took out the highs there, I heard. Yeah, 6% for SMR. I mean, a lot of them looking the same. Thoughts here, guys, on this group?
Yeah, well, maybe let's go back to Quantum first, because Rigetti's the only one. I didn't have anything that really set up. Neither made top of the list, but at least on like the secondary plays, Rigetti made it just because of what I see on the daily chart. Bottoming tail candle, like a lot of things, bottoming tail candle holding the 50 period and 1075 support. It hasn't, like this will be a trend break. Right in here. Obviously, on a daily chart, technically you're not breaking the trend unless you close above the trend line, but there's your bottoming tail holding the 50 period and a bit of a trend break. So I think for the next couple of sessions, you're looking to rally into at least 1220 here on Rigetti. So I'm favoring longs in this name. There's just a few other things. You always have to pick and choose. We talked about Bitcoin, talked about AMD, Tesla are going to be on watch for me today. And Indo as well. So Rigetti's kind of a little further down the list. I can't say that if I was going to take it, I might have already wanted a breakout here. I think this is something, as long as it closes above 1110, these bottoms, you're going to get a multi-day rally here in Rigetti. It's a great setup on that daily chart. I might look to join something at VWAP if I find myself not finding anything that's set up perfectly, then this is something that I can join in VWAP on any dip buys to try to play the trend, which I think is reversing.
Okay, yeah, look, we've been calling the sort of the downside plays here in in Quantum for a couple weeks here. But maybe that's it. Maybe we stop here. I mean, we've had some bottom wicks here. I'm just using QBTS. I mean, Rigetti, Neil just sort of looked at that. There's lots of different names to look at, but all these little bottom tails, bottom tail, bottom tail, bottom tail, bottom tail again yesterday. There are people and dip buyers in Quantum. So, you need, before I, say that this is going to be another short coming through, we're going to have to go through $14 and really start to get underneath these last couple wicks. Like right there, we just held pretty nicely 15. So, I mean, obviously we had that little bit of a dip yesterday, but I really like that play there at 15. So I think if you're going to go long today on QBTS, it seems like the market wants to continue to hold. Although I'm a little nervous because the market's not really moving that much, but Quantum doesn't need the market. So I would say that this is a long. And if you want to swing trade this, I think that makes a lot of sense. Swing trade it right here. If you can get a dip buy into 15, that's even better than where we are right now. But I like that play into $15. Hold it against that bottom right there that was made yesterday afternoon. So into 14.25. I think it's worth $1. Like if you can get long at 15 and get stopped out at 14, I think that if you're right, it's 3-1. Like you can get to 18. So, I really like that play there on QBTS. So let's just, sort of look out for the best on that one and trade that if it gets long to 15. But again, I think it's more of a swing trade than maybe a play for us. I did want to mention before we get on, because we do have some viewers here, we have Pat LaFontaine coming on today at 2:45. So Buffalo Sabre, great. Pat LaFontaine. I used to really watch Alexander McGillney, so I just put one in our group chat.
Adam Oates.
I wish it was he was coming on with McGillney there. He can have some nice passes going on there. And then McGillney also played for the Leafs. But
my brother has his rookie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, my brother has a lot of rookie cards, and despite the fact he's not even a sports fan, he just did it out of spite.
Oh yeah.
Because I collected baseball cards. He's like, well, I want to get cards too, and so he just bought a bunch of hockey cards and has it's ridiculous. It's not even fair because he doesn't even care. But Pat LaFontaine,
yeah, Islanders, Sabres, we're getting ready to go, but we're getting them all lined up there. And then not Mitch Marner though, because apparently he may not be staying here. In Toronto. Someone's going to offer that dude $14 million. I think he's going to be either an Anaheim Mighty Duck or a Las Vegas Golden Knight.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, of course. Man.
Before we go back to Apple, just very quickly, not a lot on the imbalances, but the Nvidia was there a minute ago. It is no longer. Teladoc's a small buy, 400K in here. I did see a couple of other things, but I guess they've paired off. SMCI small buy, 200,000. SMR small buy, 190,000. So a bit of a nothing burger for the imbalances. And one name that was not on this imbalance list this morning is Apple.
Boom.
I put strong. This chart talking or showing at least a little bit different story right now. So this just happened for Apple. We basically closed that gap to the aftermarket bump up there. In a hurry, coming back in here, I don't see anything right now as far as a headline, but yeah, I mean, the day started off nicely here for Apple, got all the way up to 205 there, but some volume coming in behind this move right now.
Yeah, there's a couple of analyst comments here. I don't want to see much else. Brendo, B of A, positing many reasons why it would be a good idea for Apple to buy Perplexity, basically saying Apple's a laggard. The stock is currently in the penalty box, and basically they are not developing it in-house. Separately here, Barclays still doesn't like the shares despite the recent underperformance, basically calling it an ex-growth company and very concentrated at risk, reiterating the same price target, Brendo, they had before, $173.
Yeah, I mean, it was setting up to be maybe an idea here, guys, but I'll keep my eye out. But this thing coming back in a hurry.
Look, it wasn't on the imbalance locator to explain why we got that move down in Apple. Like, I can't tell you anything that's going on there. It wasn't necessarily on my list for a dip buy, but if you're looking at prior highs, they're there right now.
Written down.
Wow, it's countdown time already. Just we'll get to AMD. Look, I like AMD. We're going to play some cautious dip buys as the market's starting to come back in here. But for now, the bell brought to you by Orogenics, OGEN on the NYSE. And thank you, Wadera, for ringing it. So yeah, big move down there in Apple. The other thing that was going on, like right at the open, into the open, you had creeping upside was NVIDIA. It still can't seem to get past 146. Advanced Micro, AMD. Look, it's another gap up. It's a relatively strong name. I think pulling back into prior highs, which it looks like we might have already bounced off of pre-market lows. We do like some AMD. No breakout on Tesla. That immediately heads downside. So the breakout will have to wait on Tesla.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go long if we do take 202 again on Apple, sorry, but it is making the move down pretty nicely, as is our friend Tesla right now as well. A big move down actually in Tesla. I was sort of talking about that, like I wasn't convinced today, which is why we did not write down. We just got into something there. What did we just get into? Apple. Okay, so Apple just broke through 202. We got long at 202.20 there, so that was a little bit of a strange move there. As Apple coming back in quite nicely, downside. We're going to get something out there, as I don't know about that break long that we just had right there, but all right, so 202 right now. We're going to take something out if it, okay, there it goes. Now it's starting to climb, so that's nice. Let's get some more out here on Apple as it's trying to go back upside, as we did get punched in there at 202. I don't know how we got 202.20 there, but anyways, break higher. Some out there at 80, some out there at 20 for flat trade so far on Apple. I keep saying Google. On Apple, 202.20 right now is where we're long. Tesla coming right into that 350 area, by the way, so watch out for that.
You might have said Google because it was also flying to the downside. Okay, it's filling in a bit of a gap. AMD just broke. It just broke out. I tried to get some.
I actually got some, but
I got some at 18s, but I tried to get some 20s in here. I'm going to pull back. I'm buying more in front of the volume weighted average price on advanced micro devices. NVIDIA is also broken out. So wow, bye. AMD now 134. It's going to get 135 right quick. Just very.
Let's get that 135, baby.
AMD has had a monster reversion every single day. So I'm looking 135 dead in the eyes here. I don't know if I take a breakout at 135.
Guys, we
already in and out, quick $2 on AMD. That was fast.
Neil, double right now, daily goal right there on AMD. That was a big trade, but we still need it to go up. Great trade getting out there at 135.
I'm buying the dip right here.
Yeah, we're still holding half of this right now. Good little dip buy opportunity for sure in AMD. We've got 99 problems. Apple is one of them right now, as that is not.
Whoa, Tesla hit 350.
Did Tesla go to 350? Okay, I'm too long everything else. But right now we can have a look quickly at TSLA. Yeah, 350. So that was a level that we had written down. I'm going to hold off on it. I'm long everything else, man, like crazy long. All right, so here goes Apple. I'm just going to hold off on Tesla. I hope that that's not a mistake as I focus on other names right now. But you rebought the AMD dip. It is coming back into 134 right now. Tesla, we should have got more. Apple, we should have got more out as that ripped upside. Again, see, this is the problem, man. Like, I can't look at multiple stocks when I have like real size on here. So I should not have gone over to Tesla there, but let's see if Apple wants to continue to go. There goes AMD downside again.
Yeah, I did try to get Tesla and it just broke down under 350. Well, that was good timing, everybody, because I did go over to Tesla the second I saw 350. Did it bounce the first time? Yes. Did I get it the first time? No. I just got it the second time, right back through the prior close. And you know the drill. I go along here, my stop is there pretty much every single time. There was an initial bounce on Tesla. We'll slap the L on it. I think 347, I put in my note 350 to 347 is a dip zone, but it's falling rather heavily. AMD is right back into 134.5, little bit of a seller. So I reloaded it in front of 134, and it's starting to work back up to the 135 level. So the initial dip buy into 33, and then the dip buy into 134, both working. But Tesla's dropping like an absolute rock. Before I go back over to Sean, I liked Indo for pop and fade. Well, Indo is not popping. Not really seeing anything happening in oil yet. But I do want to short this at some point if we get the opportunity. So just really AMD, fail over there on Tesla. And for those watching Circle, nothing happening on Circle. Literally nothing. So I think we'll wait for that one to make a real move.
Let's go right now. Okay, guys, big time trade there on AMD. Good. Thankfully, that rebounded upside right now. I am still waiting for a few more outs up at one. Oh, no, actually, no, I'm not. I just got filled. I'm going to take some more outs here as we get closer to 135. I mean, that was such a good out the first time. Let's not make a mistake and don't do it again right there. I'm going to start to tap out a little bit more of Apple right now, as this is starting to give me like some heart issues. It's not really, but it's just like, you know, this back and forth here. As I said, man, we're starting to up the size that we're using on these trades. So yeah, there it goes, man. There it is. It's now if it hangs out here, we're at 2 times our goal. But I don't want to step out because I think AMD has more to go. Let's put another out here in the 80s, and then there it goes. Yes, we got an 83 out. So let's see if this can fly upside and make this really, really special here today. So AMD 134.09. Apple, we're caught with AAPL. It's the one not moving. All right, I don't know if that was a call for a dare or not, but if it was, we should go there. Then let's go.
Keep an eye on oil. This is OXY or Occidental. We have commentary coming from the U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright. He's on Fox News. You can interview him. He said the oil market is pricing in confidence. Get a little bit of a pseudo double bottom here in OXY. So right now it looks like that confidence is reflecting on the Occidental chart. Back to you.
So, Andre, I know you can hear that. Adair's mic is bad. Okay, so just real
It wasn't
quick.
on. It wasn't on.
Oh, her mic was not on.
No, it wasn't on.
No, it wasn't. It just wasn't on me. Sorry.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, her mic was not on her. But that, I thought we could hear her. I was like, there's a little bit of
It
an
was
echo.
like an echo.
Okay, so great. Oh my geez, Neil. Here we go, man. We are really starting to go. Let's break through that 135, baby, like we just did right there again. Here I am looking at the mic and I missed that move. Okay, so nice move. Let's just continue to go higher and higher and higher. There it is, baby. That's the big trade alert right there for me. We finally did it. We put it back on. It's AMD, and there it goes, man. 134 break. We've got it. Didn't get to 132. It was close. We were sitting there. We didn't get it. It got to 133. Let's see what winds up happening. Apple's an apple a day right now is keeping the net in bay because we could be up a lot more, but Apple just doesn't want to go. So I'm going to start to take some more out here on AAPL and just say, you know what? Maybe that trade's a flat one, and we'll just let our whole day ride with advanced micro devices. Definitely not the money destroyer these days, man. This stock has been hot fire for a day trade.
It's definitely hot fire. I look at playing my style. I'm out of AMD on that fail of 135. It's not a fail on that last wick at 135. It gave us our dip into 133. It then broke it. It then pulled back. This wasn't a breakout trade. It pulled back into 34. We did get multiple tests at 35. It's just what it's done the last couple of days. Like the initial push up has made it all the way back to the bottom 2 days in a row on AMD. So I'm going to try to respect that as that continues to go. It's strong. There's no question about it. AVGO is strong. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about that as well. SMCI only up 1%. I thought we'd see more action in SMCI being SSR. That's a disappointment. So the chips led by Broadcom, AMD, and now finally NVIDIA. If Jensen has done his selling, maybe this is the day that we break away from 145. So what I see is AMD trying to pull back and NVIDIA is holding the volume weighted average price. I don't mind trading both these today. We got to be in some NVIDIA if it's finally breaking away from 145. So VWAP there, I like. IBIT not really doing much of anything in terms of giving me the dip buy, but I still like a breakout on IBIT, and I think it's about to do that. Pre-market high, ignore the wick. The pre-market high on IBIT's essentially 60. That just dark pool wick up there to 60.20.
Okay. So far, so good. We've been getting out, right? So right now on Apple, I only have about a third left as that we just got our high right there on Apple. Panicking a little bit here because AMD is falling back in. But for AMD, man, we have about a third of both of them. little bit more on Apple than on AMD right now. So yeah, right. It's not necessarily doing too much, but we got to, you know, we keep saying this, man. We got to take profits when they're there so that you don't give it all back. But we're not giving any, we're giving some back, some unrealized there. Let's get some more out at 26 there and see what happens. Okay. All right. So now let's go over to Uber and just have a quick little look here. So we had written down 88.50 as our break, right? It was right on here, 88.50 long. If you had that trade, that went to 89.60. That was worth $1 there on Uber. But Uber is falling right back into that level again. So whether or not you like this play, I'm going to look somewhere else for now because I'm in this. But I had written down 88.50 there on Uber on the sticky note, and that just held again. So the break was great and the hold was great there at 88.50 for UBER. I know you took a shot at Tesla. I have no idea where it's at now. 347.
It's still going
so yeah,
down.
Still making that move lower. I had said.
By the way, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I'd said to Chef Joe sent me a message, and I said I'm not as excited today about Tesla as I was yesterday. And we don't even have a trade. So I think that that's good. I think we did really read that quite well. Wow! Yes! Bang! Big Bear AI. There it goes, up 11% right now. You guys know I've been touting this name from $3. We're along at 420. What's up to Elon right there? But right now, it's a nice move up there for Big Bear AI. Now up 11% right there, BBAI. Sharif, the biggest of the bears right now is turned bullish a little bit. So let's see what happens there with Big Bear AI as that's going. And then one more look, and I'll throw it over to Neil, see what he's up to. There goes JP Morgan, a late entry into the sticky note as they're taking out all-time highs as well. I don't know if we should go to Neil or Adair, but let's go to Adair and then we'll come back to Neil.
Take a look here at INM. This is InMed, this company here with positive data for its Alzheimer drug, float of about 1.12 million shares. Nice push to the upside, though definitely rejecting that $5.40 level a little bit. Also, just so you guys know, we do have some things on watch here. Fed Chair Jerome Powell testifying at 10 a.m. in front of Congress. Then we'll also get the CB Consumer Confidence print coming out at 10 a.m. So stay tuned. I will be giving coverage on both of those for you when we get them. Back to you.
I'll get to CCL in a quick little second. I see a lot of people mentioning that in Circle as well, but AMD just tried to hold VWAP. It did bounce at a 3-minute, hard to see, but it did bounce once off 134. I jumped in on the way back up through 134, but it just immediately made another fresh low. If we're going to respect what happened yesterday, maybe let it see if it can't get back to the the pre-market low at that 133 is not the pre-market low, so I'll call it the opening range bottom. Pre-market low is at 132.5. What's confounding me here is NVIDIA is now at 140. NVIDIA is the one going mean crazy. AMD is having a good day, but NVIDIA is now 2% when it was doing nothing at the open. It's finally past that big nasty zone. I got to shift over this at some point. And CCL, everybody, this stock is up 9.5%. They reported beat on the top and bottom. I don't know what time the call is. Usually it's like, my guess it'll be at like 10 o'clock or something. So be careful trading this. If the conference call is ongoing and you're not listening to it, this can be very, very violent. But CCL, if you're wondering why it's moving, they reported at 9:15. NVIDIA, absolute fireworks. No breakout on IBIT.
No worries about that.
No breakout on IBIT yet, so we're just going to have to be patient there. But NVIDIA, I got to join this party. How long have we been waiting for it to break away from this level? AMD has been good this morning, but NVIDIA, yeah, it might be a little bit, just a skosh better, maybe. No red candles on it yet.
I don't know, man. We're still in. Yeah, no red candles on it yet. We're still in AMD, and we reloaded it, and it's fantastic. It is a monster trade today. Again, I know. I mean, we say that all the time, but I mean, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing right now, and it's been a big one. We were able to get the reload, so that's really, what started this whole thing. I hope this thing goes crazy like NVIDIA, but I'm pretty happy with what we've been doing right here, right now on this play. So there it continues to go, man. Again, really, really like the stock. There goes AMD upside, and we're fine. But Apple is not doing a whole heck of a lot. I mean, I wish this name had been going a little bit higher. We just stopped out breaking through 202. So again, good name for Apple, much, as Neil had highlighted there, much better name for AMD, but realistically, the market's going up, and both of these names really aren't doing anything. So I feel like I've missed out on the boat a little bit here on
Amazon
Uber.
that's going.
Oh, Amazon. I had Amazon breaking 213, so there goes 213 right now. Yeah, good call there on Amazon, as that seems to be going as well there, breaking through. Yeah, that 213 was a good little level there for AMZN, but we're going to hold our day right now and just see what winds up happening with it. But yeah, so far so good. But AMD, if AMD breaks below, I got to figure out where my stop is going to be here. No more reloads. We're just able to get that out. How about this 50-period moving average? Maybe even the low of the day there, 133. I don't think we even want to wait for that. 133.75, and then we can regroup on AMD. I think that's, for me, going to be one of the better plays right now that I'm looking at, is just to regroup on advanced micro devices if we do break below that 133.75 area. I'm going to put my stop in there. 69s maybe.
Oh, it's Amex.
69er.
Oh, I do this all the time. If you're at Real Trading, you should always have your Amex keys the same as your Nasdaq and New York keys. I forgot for a second Indo was on the Amex. NYSE market. I'm going to play this one underneath VWAP as it's breaking back down. It doesn't seem like it wants to get to 420. It's a level. It was just a low yesterday. It's not 420 for the sake of 420, but it just lost a volume weighted average price again. Market up, oil down. Want to be short this name. First stop will be the local high, as you can see, at about 380. So I'm just going to get my stop order in on that. NVIDIA is absolutely, it's, like I said, there haven't been any red candles on it. It's, yeah, you like the term meme crazy. That's the only, I don't know how else to explain it. 148 is about to break. I'm not chasing this move. I do want to try to play the first available dip buy. Like if it puts in a red candle in the 3-minute, I will look to find an entry off of that candle if we can get it. IBIT, I want longs in Bitcoin today. It's holding out at 105 pretty decently. Can enter twice there. I still have my order for the breakout on IBIT, thinking if we get really strong, it's a tight consolidation, why not? But it's just not breaking out yet. So if you see it pop in, it should be a long breaking out these pre-market highs. I don't see any chance that we fill in this gap into 59. Tesla is trying to rebound a little bit here, but my focus, I have a couple of chip names up. I got Tesla, which I'm not really loving the long yet, and IBIT will be next in play. And I already mentioned Indo, I'm looking for the short. I see a few names you guys are throwing in there, and I'm Dr. J. I'm a little surprised that this one is on the list of names being thrown in the chat, and that is Intel up 3%. I guess maybe all the chips are strong.
Yeah.
Just be careful with Intel. It has a really bad history of turning around sharply if it gets above $22 in the last couple of weeks. So I'd be cautious with this. If anything, I might consider shorting that stock later.
Look, we just stay in the same parties, man. I mean, you know, when you're in it and the party is jamming, you stay there, man. Good tunes today with AMD. So yeah, I'm going to stay here, still continue this party up on that one. We just got another piece out higher. We got some 70. Actually, we got double 70s out right there. So that was, you know, obviously a decent look there. I am going to go long Tesla if it breaks 350. Again, I was sort of thinking right into here that 250-period moving average is 352. There's VWAP at 350, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now to go long if it's available. They're at a 350-30 break or so, wherever that VWAP is right there at 40s now. So 350-30s or so for the break there on Tesla. So that's what I'm going to do right there. Like, I have no idea what the hell's going on with this one, but there it is. We gave you guys Marvell. I gave you guys BBAI. There it is, up 16%. We're now nicely in the money over, well, we're long at 420, so 60 cents in the money for it, about this much in 15% or so. So we're waiting for more. And the other one that we gave you, Webull, not doing anything. We're long at $11. I just wanted to double check on that one. Another recent one, DraftKings. Let's see what that's been up to, $42. So that's a banger as well. That's your face slapper right there. DraftKings been doing really well the last couple days as well. And then JP Morgan coming back into play again there, 280. So that name's not really dancing as much as I hoped it would, JP Morgan, but so far so good over there on that one. Yeah, I got to take a second here to get what you need there, Andre. Let's go over to Neil, then just come right back.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's a lot of other strong names I'll get to, but you're getting a bit of a pullback here in NVIDIA. Ideally, something really simple and it pulls back into the open range top, so the opening candle top, 146.5, which is also the volume weighted average price. That would be the ideal spot to catch a little bit of a bid. Before we go back over to Sean, I know you're locked and loaded, ready to go. Want to point out, I just saw this in the chat. CoreWeave is breaking back out to fresh highs. So all-time highs on CoreWeave, about $3 from here. Looks like it's going to break it out. The only thing I'm in is Indo, that short. I just took some out in front of the pre-market low. Let's head right back over to my left.
All right, level up on your trading game with Prop XP, up to 1 to 200 leverage and static drawdown. Scroll the site and pick your challenge at propxp.com. Watch out for Tesla's going to break. Trade directly on our platform. Sign up, try it for free, and start your trading journey. Enjoy rapid payouts, real human support, no bots. Rated 4.6 stars on Trustpilot, trusted by traders worldwide. Right now, get 50% off with code TraderTV. One word, TraderTV. Links in the description. Be the trader, get funded. Join Prop XP today. Prop XP, your edge starts here. Visit propxp.com. Okay, there goes. So first of all, man, we're $1 in. Actually, now we're, we've been $1 in for a minute, but there's $1 right there on AMD as that's trying to go. We're waiting out for Tesla as well. Upside right now. Here it goes, breaking through 350. So we are going to be long this name very, very soon on a breakthrough 350 and a breakthrough VWAP. And then we're going to get stopped out if it goes 50 cents the other way, man. I'm not trying to play around with this name here today, okay? So if it does break upside and then falls back in, then that's a failed VWAP break. The trade is very, very defined. So if you do see me in it, I'm going to put the stop order out and potentially lose 50 cents. That's it. I know that doesn't seem like a lot of risk. I mean, we could go down to 348 if you were really risky there. It hasn't been trading the way we thought it would, and the market's coming back down, and. So there's that. All right, AMD right now breaking through 135. I know NVIDIA's going that meme craze, but at the end of the day, you got to stick, where your bread is buttered. I said that the most money made on this show, I think, period, over the last month, probably all of June, is probably on Circle, first of all, on the IPO, that's for sure. But as far as the name is concerned, AMD, for sure, the name that's carried the day here, P&L-wise. It could be Tesla, too, but I think AMD continues to work out. Neil and I both on this name today. But there goes Advanced Micro Devices through 135.50. Let's go, man. We're just going to let this go. We only right now have a little bit under 10% left of this, but we're happy with it. Now we're just waiting for Tesla to break through, and then we go on this one. So here goes Tesla. Nice bottom pick there at 345. I don't know how you would have found that, but if you did, it might have been yesterday. And if you see this yesterday dip, right there was 345. So, it came right into some levels. Let's see if we could take out 350. And then, 352 is a decent spot to maybe exit this trade, or not exit it, but start to get out with 50 cents worth of risk. I think to take $1.50 would be good there. But AMD's still moving, and you're short Indo.
I mean, Indo's working to the south side. Disappointed with IBIT here. Yeah, it's like watching, I hate the term watching paint dry, because it's not like it's not doing anything, but this might actually break the low of the day. So if it breaks, if it breaks the low of the day, I'll cancel my breakout order and start looking for the dip buy as it tries to fill in the gap. As I mentioned with Indo or INDO, it's bouncing off its pre-market lows, but I'm waiting, go to the 15-minute, about $3.15 is next support. That's where I'm bidding. I want to add to it in front of this 375 to the short, and we'll play this one as weakness. Down 28%, market up, oil down. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, a couple of notes here. Keep an eye on this market. We do have comments coming from White House Senior Advisor Kevin Hassett saying that the U.S. will see, quote, a sequence of trade deals around the 4th of July, and that the administration right now is focusing more on getting that one big, beautiful bill passed through Congress. Also, Microsoft on watch. About 7 minutes ago, Bloomberg reported that apparently the company will be cutting some jobs in their Xbox division. So keep an eye here on MSFT. Those job cuts will apparently happen next week. Back to you.
Okay. Well, job cuts are usually a good thing.
We heard some about that last week, something about Xbox. So
was it yesterday?
Interesting to hear right there as Microsoft continues to work, right? I mean, okay, so on our sticky note today was Tesla, Uber, Big Bear AI. I cannot, oh man, I wrote down Big Bear AI 440 break. there on Big Bear AI. So again, if you're looking for the sticky note for some of the trades that I'm going to be making here every day, then you want to go over to X, find it out there. I just retweeted the show as well. Hey, there it is. But there it is right there. Tesla, Uber long, AMD long, Apple. Apple we're flat on. It's too bad. I really thought that could go. Amazon 213, we can have a look. And then there's Big Bear AI as well. And then we did add JP Morgan as a look. Because we don't normally trade JP Morgan as breakouts or anything like that, but we're really super happy with BBAI today, up another one. And then our other name that we look at often is Marvell. That's up to $73. So we're long Marvell 64 and change. We're long Big Bear AI. We're long Bull. We're long Uber as well. And Uber, I wrote down 8. Come on, charts. Like, I don't know what's going on. I wrote down 888.50 there, and we haven't really traded off of that level yet for Uber. I adjusted my Tesla trade. It's now down to 350, the VWAP. So I'm going to take that break right there of 350, and then we'll give it $1. If it goes back down through 349, then we're going to stop ourselves out because it just printed 348 again. So it's like to be wrong and to hold it for that long is just, it's too much. So we're going to wait for that one and then check back in on Apple. Oh, wow. Apple's at 200 right now. So this was a level that we looked at yesterday.
Even?
Yeah, for Apple. So
whoa, what's going on?
It's all the way down right now. I like the long there. It's a good thing that we got out of it. Like, this is the new and improved me, man. Like, if I don't like something, we gone out of there. Do not have to marry. I only have to marry one person, and I already did that. I'm not going to marry a stock again. That's for sure. So Apple, AMD, and I think that's what Neil and I talk about all the time is have discipline. If something's not working for you, then back away from it, man. Like, you don't need to be on that. And we could have lost everything and more that we've made in AMD if we had held this. But no, it breaks our 202 level, the level that we thought was going to be good. We were talking about it, that it wasn't very good. And then when it finally breaks, no reload, nothing. Just notice the difference between AMD and Apple is there goes AMD, it comes back in. We actually reloaded that one because it was at some key levels. And there it goes right back up. Now $2. Wow, now we're $2 in the money on AMD. So yeah, man, it's a big day here. Let's just see if we can do it with Tesla. Up next is Tesla. What pronouns are you using, Tesla? Nice move to the upside right there, breaking through 350 is what we're looking for there. And Big Bear AI, man, I'm going to message our friend right now, see if he's still in it because he was loving Big Bear AI.
Bullish is the term. Hopefully that Tesla's going to be using. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Apple. That's a weird. I'm going to get there in a quick little second. It just Nvidia just held the 147, so scalped into it here and just took some out in front of 40s. I think 148 does set you up for an obvious resistance spot. Just pull out if you go further out in the daily chart. You've got 47 where we just bounced the prior high, and then there's a little bit of a chop zone into 48 level before you can get to any of the all-time highs. Apple, there's no particular catalyst that I'm aware of. So, I mean, 200 is 200. I don't know any other way to put it. The only thing that has me not thinking 200 is going to be an obvious level is that the actual reversion yesterday was at 199. So, wow, yeah, maybe it's just a 199 or something, but there's no catalyst I'm aware of there. I stayed away from Tesla after the initial dip buy at 350. It's headed right back into the lows. 344, 345 seems like it's a test. Don't have to be in this, and that's what I'm glad I'm actually not in this right now because it's looking relatively nasty. Coinbase is a new circle. Maybe that's what we should say. Coinbase has a buy program on it right now. Shout out to Cynthia L, in the chat. 7% up. We said there was a bit of a disconnect between Coin and Circle. They'd been moving together, that you had to go away from that. So even though, whatever, it doesn't matter. I was more thinking don't short Coin because Circle is weak. I probably should have just thought the other way, which was go long in Coinbase. So into NVIDIA, will reload Indo if it does give me the move back into the volume weighted average price, but we'll let that one settle down. As far as I'm concerned, until proven otherwise or a headline, I want to be short at least one oil name. So NVIDIA is trying to go, it broke out the highs when AMD was pulling back. AMD broke out the highs when NVIDIA is pulling back. It's almost like they're now taking turns. But it's the whole chip space. We just happen to be on these ones. Chips are very strong today.
Yeah, I mean, chips is the only name, the only thing that's, for me, that's been going. I mean, we only have 2 plays. Okay, so I'm thinking about Big Bear AI at $5. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's such a huge level. I think we can
Robinhood 80.
smash it maybe if it gets up to there. I mean, just looking at BBAI, it's going. And, you know, I said that my first bet will be 6. So, you know, I'm going to put something in that account maybe tonight after we're done the show, which is 11 o'clock, not tonight. But, we'll put an offer somewhere around there. And then I don't think it's going to hit today, but could hit overnight, could hit something like that on an upside move. Remember, about 20% or so short float here on Big Bear AI. And I've been, we're talking about this at 3, talking about this at various other levels as well. So there's Big Bear AI. Go into the details for it and just to see, oh yeah, Oscar Health. We have to look at that as well. Yeah, only 11. Oh, sorry. Oscar was only 11. Is that what I just saw there? Anyways, 29. So there it is right there. So 30% short float on Big Bear AI. So it has actually a lot more to go right now. No news today. Big Bear AI confirms multiple. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's June 17th. Deployments of biometric software, enhanced passenger processing, international airports, whatever. I mean, this is why we're in Big Bear AI, right? Is that we like the stock. We like it for that exact reason. AI related. So, all right, it's Adara. There's some numbers. We are going upside still. $2.50 in the money on advanced micro devices. All right, let's go to Adara.
Also coming through at 10 a.m. is not a number, but a man. Fed Chair Jerome Powell. I already have that stream up. Hopefully, we will see him live on screen at 10 a.m. Eastern when he begins his testimony for Congress here, for the House. CB consumer confidence, 99.8 expected here, or the forecast. Coming in at 5.4. Unclear if this is a typo. The previous year, 100, we were expecting 99, or sorry, a previous 98, expecting 99 to 100, coming in at 93. It's been corrected. CB consumer confidence was a typo. 93, so still lower than the expected of 99.8. Then we have Richmond Fed Composite Index, actually better than expected, -7 versus -10 that we were looking for. So again here with the Nasdaq, after that misprint of consumer confidence, it was not 5. It ended up coming in around 93. Here's the Nasdaq trying to bounce a little bit here. Let's take a look here at the S&P 500. These markets were buoyed early in the day, specifically in the pre-market, once we got that ceasefire news from Israel and Iran. Keep an eye here on Microsoft. There's a lot of news, I guess, in the big tech space. Bloomberg reporting that after we had some layoffs reported last week, the company's also going to be cutting up jobs in a major way at their Xbox gaming division. Then we have AAPL. I cannot find any news on this. There's been some negative sentiment around the name, including from Chamath Palihapitiya of SPAC fame and of the All In podcast. But this one dropping without any news. Tesla as well on watch here. TSLA, slightly higher low, but on watch after its well-received robo-taxi launch caught the attention of NHTSA. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. I said I would take a shot on Intel, so I got to quickly show you. Did play it off of, I guess that'd be Friday's highs, not yesterday, Friday's highs. It just broke it out. These chips continue to show their strength. Tesla, you know what? You can have a plan of action on something, or no, better, you can have a bias or directional bias on something, but you don't have to fight it. It's still heading lower. It cannot get above the volume weighted average price. It's not holding that 47 level very well. We're still trending like we're going to break down on Tesla. So I'm staying away from this one, at least for the time being. Bit of a miss there on Indo. It looks like it got real close to the volume weighted average price and didn't quite get there. It might have just been a reload at the 60 level instead, so I might have missed a chance at a reload on INDO. Want to stay net short on that name. I haven't really shown you guys oil futures, which we can do at some point right in here. Obviously, they're going to be down. You shouldn't be, it's essentially just following oil. You're stair-stepping to the downside in oil futures. So as long as that's happening, I want to stay net short on INDO. Obviously, Tesla is confounding a little bit, and I said Apple 200 might not be a thing because 199 was the bottom yesterday. Well, this seems like it's a trend break at the 200 level. So I like mean reversion trades. If you're going to show me this kind of a trend down, I don't have to draw a trend line. I'm sure we can all figure out that looks like a bit of a bottom being made here at the 200 level. I pivoted away from looking at that. So we might have missed our chance because I was looking for 199 on Apple. But as I say that, it might come right back down. 220 cents is the current low So it seems like 200 is holding at least for now. It'll be a scalp trade if I take this long. I'm not looking to average in off this level. I'm not looking to hold past the low or anything like that. I'm just looking for a quick in and out, see if we can't get a bit of a bounce on Apple.
All right, we're going to get out basically some more right here if we can. I'm offering 29s right there on AMD, as it may have had a top tail there as well. We look, okay, there it is. We just got those out. We're getting them out more and more as we continue to go higher. I just wanted to see what NVIDIA was doing. It came close to its all-time high, which is NVDA, which is right here.
It's like 50 something.
Yeah, I wanted to double check what we had. I think it was 154, wasn't it, the other day that we had mentioned that. There's the 52-week low of $85 or $86. Yeah, 153.13 up there for NVIDIA. So we're getting pretty close to that one. But yeah, it's there we go again. We're about to be, this could be $3, man, right here. So we're excited for this AMD trade. It's a big one. And, finally, like I go to bed telling myself we got to hold these things. And that's what we did here. So we're pretty happy with this move upside on AMD. Not only did we hold it, but we're also able to have reloaded it there as well. So far, so good there. Let's go to Adara.
Just letting you guys know, the stream has begun, as has the semi-annual policy report here with Fed Chair Jerome Powell and Congress. I will be listening to this. Now, this is going to start with a prepared series of remarks from, Jerome Powell. We already know what those are. They were released at 8:30 a.m. What's going to be interesting here are the questions. We know they're very likely to ask questions about potentially Donald Trump, what Fed Chair Powell was going to do, I guess, ahead of him leaving on May 2026 or in May 2026, and whether or not rates will be cut. Stay tuned. I will keep you guys posted, and we're going to listen to this whole thing. Back to you.
Yeah, it's a long couple of days when you got to go in front of Congress. So I don't think we'll get anything too crazy out of it, but, keep your ear to the ground. Well, that's why we appreciate having Adara for sure. I see someone mentioning in the chat that Circle lost VWAP. Not necessarily a focus. I think Circle for me today is I want to see it trend down for a little bit and then hang out. NVIDIA held above VWAP, 146.8 on first bounce. I'm not reloading unless I see green. I want front end, not back end. So I want back end, not front end, which means bounce first, enter long after. So no bounce, I get out, and then I wait for it to show me the bounce level and then get back in on the way up. That's been much better for me for consistency. You got to play your style. I know that if I get in on the front end of the trade, sometimes it works, but more often than not, that's not the way that I want to play it. I juxtapose that with, whoops, I just typed NVIDIA again. AMD. I got out, came right back, and it was the front end of the trade. The back end of the trade would have been in here, and that's the difference. I don't mind. AMD will be my best stock today, but it could have been twice as good because I was on the wrong side of the V, which means let it bounce. When you see the bounce, then get in here. Even if you give up 15 or 20 cents and you're long 40 20s instead of 34 evens, it doesn't make a difference. Probably happy we snagged it a couple of times to the upside. 35 was a good level. The breakout possibly in play as well. By the way, Apple, no dice. I wasn't willing to chase the move on Apple. You had to just sit in front of the 200 level and catch it the first time. I had backed off to the 199, and I'm so glad that we are not involved in Tesla. It just broke 345. This is going to have to do something distinct. Whether it's a clean break of the trend line, maybe a bottoming tail underneath some of those lows. I'm just not getting any feels here for Tesla yet. It could break trend right here over 47. That's certainly a possibility, but that's the kind of thing I'm going to need to see for sure before I jump in. It's, we're obviously going to be red on it, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to fight to try to get it back. It's trending down when I thought this would be a little stronger today.
All right, so we're in, AMD is now 350. And still going, so it's so strong. We've had, I look at some of these sticky notes. We have AMD as like the top trade idea here for a very long time. So again, different styles over here. We'll fire off the hot dog cannon right now because there goes NVIDIA, man. We'll put 30 cents or 20 cents right now in and see what happens here. I mean, hopefully it can go back there to the upside. We just bounced off 98s right there. We should have been waiting. We'll wait at 97 right now for NVIDIA. We did take something out there, 88s there for 10 cents. But yeah, it's not going too strong here. If this breaks 146.50, then we're going to get out. But it just had that run higher there, and we are starting to. I mean, I think all the attention obviously is on AMD. I only have like less than basically 5% left on this. So far so good there, but not necessarily the same for, you nailed that Apple talk there at 200. Some people were looking at that one. Palantir trying to pull back a little bit, but I mean, that had a huge dip into 138. We had talked about Palantir's dip buy opportunities. It was actually, we wrote it down on the sticky note yesterday for Palantir and the dip buy potential in PLTR, but today we weren't looking there. And if we were 138, I don't know how good that level. Yeah, see, like for me at 138, I would have, if that would have bounced off 137, then it would have been like, okay, we missed an opportunity there, but it doesn't. So we don't have to worry too much about that level there on Palantir. So we're gonna wait on all of those trades, but yeah, Palantir breaking through 142 could be something to that upside. Apple still trying to go, Roblox going, SMCI. The thing about Roblox is now that it's, again, heading into the summertime, I think we can play that same theory again, where all the kids will be on their Roblox machines and just going nuts there for RBLX. I mean, look at the way,
especially in this heat.
Yeah, especially in this. Actually, another banger here today as far as heat is concerned. 106, huge move there for Roblox, up again. Like, where are the red days, man? There's nowhere to be found here for Roblox. So again, congratulations anybody that's been holding that long. It's been quite the trade. Okay, yeah, BBAI struggling at 490. That's a good struggle area for it, that's for sure, man. We're well in the money on Big Bear AI. Might be time to get some out in the personal account. Let's go over and find out what Adara's up to at 1010.
We have Donald Trump posting not one, but two very long messages here on Truth Social. The most recent of these I'm going to focus on here because it's related here to the economy. It's about the big, beautiful bill and how he wants it passed, basically saying, to quote my friends in the Senate, lock yourself in a room if you must, don't go home. And all caps, get the deal done this week. Work with the House so they can pick it up and pass it immediately to make America great again. That last part paraphrase a little bit. But yeah, Truth Social here. Donald Trump on watch once again. Here is the market. Back to you.
No surprises there. We are expecting, it's always fun and interesting for sure. But I think we got to keep in mind, look, if you're only looking at a few charts, you might get a bit of a skewed idea of what's happening in the market. Inside move for now. So I'm trying to be like patient with the next move because as you're attempting to bounce off the lows here on the Qs, you haven't traveled much. If we start breaking out tops, I think that sets up some different types of continuation long trades that I might chase. But as long as we're testing the lows, I want to be a little bit patient with some dip buys. Yeah. I still like 140. Like if you look at NVIDIA, the pre-market breakout was a 145.75. I'm going over to Amazon as well. Ooh, Amazon's already under view up. Oh. Okay, maybe not Amazon. I thought Amazon was a little stronger on second look. AMD might be a chance. Why am I still bidding 134? 135 is now the volume weighted average price. I think that's where I want to look for a dip buy over there. So let's be patient with it, with the market inside day. I don't think I want to get too extended in either direction. Anthony Vence.
What's up, Anthony?
Thank you for the super chat there, Anthony. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. Opinion on ticker symbol PSN, Parsons Corporation. You know what? I don't know that name. So I always, if it's the first time I'm pulling it up, then I'll let you know it's the first time I'm looking at this thing today. And I can tell you it's not doing any volume. It was a day trader. That's a, you know what, an absolute pass as some kind of a trend. It's not bad. You should probably know what I'm going to say here. Not bad off the 50-period moving average, but where's the breakout above? It's one thing to hold the 50. It's another thing for a weak-looking chart to actually take out a resistance level and get going. And you can see that at 70. Sellers are in control of this at $70. So the fact that it's making a rounded bottom is only half the story. Clearly, the sellers know what they're doing here. Or I shouldn't say know what they're doing. They've just been in control at 70. That's a better way to put it. I'm only in one trade. It's still that Indo. Still have the lows from, I forget the date. It would be back here, the 11th and the 12th, as a target. It has yet to break down underneath 340. Short here, just under 360. I think it can make another leg lower as long as oil doesn't do some kind of a weird rebound, which it doesn't seem like it's going to. At this moment. So yeah, just trying to be patient. Apple was a bit of a missed opportunity. If you took it off the 200 level, I think you just got your scalp trade at 201. It's headed right back to the low. I think that was your trade. I'm not going to go ahead and try to force that. I'm just waiting for AMD to pull back or NVIDIA to maybe test 145 half.
All right, yeah, so kind of the same thing here. We're long. We've been trying to do some NVIDIA here. I was going to wait for this 145.75. It seems like, that kind of a pullback here into what, we're long right here at 42, so it's out of the money still on NVIDIA. So I don't want to, speak like too much this is going to bounce there, but we should have probably taken that fill right there on NVDA a little bit more than we did. But there it goes. Nice upside play there for NVIDIA. Okay, just looking around Boeing. Is Boeing near that 200? Near that 200 mark. It's not. It's gone forward. I do like the 200 level on Boeing. We've talked a little bit about that. I think that's going to be a decent trade there for BA going upside. I just want to tell you, because I tell you guys, when I'm making these moves, I put an offer for JP Morgan just up here, 280.85. So if we can get that fill, then that's what I'm looking to do right here on JP Morgan. What's up, Adara?
So I have a little bit of an update here with that consumer board number. It came out at 93, but as I mentioned initially, it was a misprint and it came out as 5, which would have been well below estimates of 99.8. So the reason for that is because it actually decreased by 5.4%. So I just wanted to address that misprint. Apparently, this figure, even the 93, was actually well below all estimates in a Bloomberg survey of economists. Also, the consumer expectations for the next 6 months, apparently, those have dropped by 4.6 points to 69. So some weakness here from the CV Consumer Conference or Consumer Board Consumer Confidence Surveys, guys. Back to you.
All right, everybody, I want everyone to check out that QR code right there on your screen. Invest in every sector you love, all in one stock. It's 3D Capital, ladies and gentlemen, under the code CSE, IDK, and IDKFF on your OTC markets. It's risk diversified basket of 60 plus vetted investments. So if this is something that you're interested in, get founder level exposure, the kind most investors can access in some of the hottest sectors: blockchain, AI, Internet of Things, biotech, and natural resources. Led by a CEO whose last venture returned 150x, 3D is currently trading at a discount to its asset value per share, and they're actively buying back and deleting shares. The world's highest returning investments usually come from founder level access. Think of 3D as your ETF for early stage disruptive innovation. So we want to thank them for sponsoring this part of our show. So thank you, 3D, for that IDKFF on your OTC market. Okay, man, here we go. As we were reading that, Neil, it's a face slapper there on NVIDIA. We missed some levels there on Apple at that $2 I don't know if you got that Amazon, but there goes NVIDIA, man. We are long down there. Good pickup down there near 146. Out at some 146.80 right there. We're just going to maybe get out of a little bit more. Again, we have a decent amount of shares, so we're just going to keep piecing them out as we go. We're only $4 right now, and I say only kind of just jokingly. It's a great trade on AMD, as that is now just monstering upside. Now $4 in the money. AMD continues to be the name that we all hoped it would be, up to 138 right now. Again, written on here, number one trade idea was Tesla. We avoided it, but number two there was AMD. So we're really happy today, needless to say. And then NVIDIA right now helping us out as well. So yeah, big day alert. I know I say that often, but I do that on purpose so that you guys can know when there's some bigger trades on and the money's being made, because this is a very, very lonely business and not one where many can be successful. So it is nice to sort of champion good trades. And we also talk about, trades where we were wrong, like this Apple trade there where you get out, right? And this is how you keep the money in your account. So you don't get washed out, and you get opportunity to maybe dip buy. We didn't do it, but I think that was an awesome opportunity right there for Apple. So look, man, I mean, I know we're, other than Indo, I think we're pretty much trading a lot of the same stuff there. You made Tesla, Apple, AMD, Nvidia, and then right now Indo.
Yeah, I just scalped Nvidia as well. It was very, very clean. Look, there's only a couple of ways that I like to enter a trade. If you get support and resistance, great. If you get a trend break, that's the other way. And you don't really get a trend until you get more data. So it was a complete trend break right here. It just breaks the prior bar. You already get one green. It's pretty simple. VWAP is too close. So I was simply looking at the previous support level turning into resistance. The second it showed any resistance there, quick in and out on Nvidia, and then we'll look for the next opportunity there. I also have IBIT now breaking, okay, any second now breaking the top. It's pretty much at the high, so a couple of cents, and this is going to break out the top on IBIT. I do like the long in here. We want that continuation play. It just doesn't, every time I look at it, it's right at this pre-market high, and I keep thinking it's gonna go, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to take some, Obi likes the term take some inventory into it. So I'm going to get some in, see if it holds the breakout. Like, instead of taking the break in the trade, it's already closing and showing strengths up at the top. So I'm going to take a shot at it, giving it to this like prior bar because we're in the uptrend, and then hold into this move into 60. If I see 60 end up being resistance, 105.5, I can scalp some out. I can always add on some dips, just a little more flexibility. Because I kept watching it go up, and it's like, it's going. It's like it wants to break this 60 level. Why not just get in some here in the low 90s and play it into the 60?
And we have a big tournament this weekend, and the coaches were going back and forth setting our pitching rotation. It's a good thing to have a lot of pitchers, and we have a lot of
You got to have, in a tournament, you got to have arms.
Tournament, yeah, so they can only pitch a certain amount. If you pitch more than 25 pitches in the first day, you can't pitch the second day, so there's lots of rules and all of that. But
which are good rules, man. To be honest, like there's a lot of coaches out there that don't care about that kid's health. They just want to win first, and you know, ultimately, I have so much respect for coaches that are willing to put the kids before winning because it's about their future. Well, I'm just, it is what it is, man.
Man, no,
I've known. There was a kid. I played with a kid who was like, he had to have surgery before he was like 15 years old, and I remember when he played for the city, like he was the only kid that was snapping like a ridiculous curveball, and he did great stuff, and it was just he got abused because he was so far ahead of everybody else, and it pissed you off if you watched him growing up because they just had this guy throwing pretty much every single game because he had a rubber arm. I'm like, you don't have a rubber arm. He's just young, and you blew him out. Anyways, neither here nor there. I could ramble about that for a long time.
No, I appreciate that because I have the same thought there, and I manage a lot of kids every week, and they're rep pitchers too. Like they're amazing. Some of these kids. I have 12-year-old kids that are throwing 70 plus. You know, so you got to be careful with nasty stuff as well. The High Park 12 rep team may go to Little League World Series, so we're seeing everybody in Pennsylvania. All right, let's go over to the desk with Adara.
Hearing really interesting here during this Fed Chair Powell testimony. Basically, he's being grilled on the fact that other Feds, including Fed's Waller, who they named, but also Fed's Bowman, are suggesting that rate cuts could actually be earlier in July. Fed Chair Powell says he's not going to comment on statements made by other Fed members, but it is interesting. It is worth noting again that two Fed speakers within the past week have suggested they're very comfortable with rates potentially being lowered as early as July, or the July meeting anyway, should inflation continue to suggest that could be the case. Here's the IWM. Nice little bounce here off this double bottom around 212.4, or I guess $212.40. Right now, about $1 off that point. Let's see if it can break out of this resistance around 213 halves and break out of that pre-market high. Interesting look there for the IWM. Here's DFDV, DeFi Development, with an interesting catalyst announcing that they have a strategic validator partnership with the dog with hat community. So crypto name and watch here, DFDV. Then we have CREV, this one giving up some of this move. Could not find a catalyst here for Carbon Revolution Public, but keep an eye on CREV, just under 2 million shares, I believe 1.84 million share float. Last but not least, Resolve AI, RZLV, trading about 27, Arval. So lots of interest in this name as of late. Yesterday announced that it will join the Russell 2000 and 3000 indices. About a $650 million market cap for this one. Make sure to like and subscribe as we send you back to the guys.
Thank you very much, Adair. Appreciate you. We just, like I said, I was going to take inventory into 60 instead of a 60 break. Hey, that ended up being a good pivot because IBIT broke out at the 90 level and then pulled back at 60. So now we scalp some into 60 and we can buy the dip back into the volume weighted average price as opposed to, I just feel like the false break, sometimes the way to go, like go, if it seems like it's going to break out and it's trending up, get long into the big level, play some out, and then if it fails the big level, you can always buy the dip, see if it can't hold on to, I mean, in this particular case, it'll be VWAP, but I mean, you can have something else in there. Maybe it's a prior bar low, whatever, sort of whatever floats your boat in that particular situation. So that's going to end up working, hopefully. I mean, the breakout, the dip buy, we'll see what happens, but getting it at 90 into 60 made a heck of a lot more sense. Indo's still not really doing much of anything. I'm just going to flash quickly over. I'm not sitting on the bid because VWAP's a moving target. It was at 135. Now it's at 135.5. But suffice to say, if AMD gets to the volume weighted average price, I want to play the long into that. Look, everybody, we had Mitch on talking a little bit about Trade the Pool, and now they've got something new. It's a behind-the-scenes look at Trade the Pool. The dashboard tracks your progress in real time, live stats, profit, and more. You can break down every trade, see your entry, exit, and how it played out on the charts. Check the certificates page for your full summary, achievements, and payouts. In this clip, that's Michael T. He's already earned over $75K in total payouts. Trade the Pool gives you tools, and it gives you the capital to go further. Shout out to Mitch for coming on, sharing his ideas. Scan the QR code you see in front of you. Shout out to Michael P. in there with his 75K. Let's go back up to Adara at the desk.
Some Fed dovishness, or sorry, not dovishness, hawkishness coming from both Powell and Fed's Hammock, who's talking at the same time. Fed's Hammock saying that progress on inflation has been, quote, very slow, and that she thinks we need to wait a little bit here for watching, quote unquote, before rate cuts. Then we had Fed Chair Powell here again responding to a couple of Feds, including Bowman and Waller, suggesting cuts as early as July. Fed Chair Powell saying in this testimony to Congress that the majority of the Fed feels it appropriate to wait for cuts later this year. Just keep an eye on the market. Again, Fed Chair Powell really dashing any hopes of a July cut as of right now. Back to you.
Yeah, boob you on Powell. Look what's happening right here for Uber, guys. We wrote down 88.50 there for Uber, and I just looking back at certain things, and it's just like, why do we not have that trade? I mean, here's Uber at 88.50 on the sticky note there today. Look. I mean, it's literally the low of the whole day is 88.50, and it came 3 times. The first time was the break, the second time was that reload, the third time was that reload, and now it's $2 in the money. So that's a face slapper there if you followed on Uber. We've basically cleaned out of NVIDIA. We had less than 5% up there. We got another piece out. We have now less than 2% of AMD coming back into 136. We'll stay away from the reload here until we get even lower. I mean, Powell is now obviously now speaking, so as Adair has dropped us some of those words, we're just gonna have to be careful with what we think is gonna happen now. I'm gonna get out some more of NVIDIA right now. I'm happy sitting on our hands. I mean, we did miss that, we missed the Uber trade, but at least we talked about it. All I'm doing, and I talk about this with Obi because we're trying to build, obviously, something, as we all are, something bigger and better, and that is to up our shares, make sure that, you know, our trades are the right ones, and even if you miss them, it's fine. It's just, there's always tomorrow. Like, whatever you make or lose today, you can double or triple that tomorrow, just with similar plays. You just need to be on them. So as long as I can look down and say, okay, Apple didn't work, we got out when it didn't work, you know. Uber, we missed it, but it worked, you know, so that's great. AMD, Tesla didn't hit for us, so we didn't have to worry about Tesla, right? I mean, when this is coming into 350, you know, I know Neil's tried it, but it's quickly out. That would have been an in and an out play as well, right there on Tesla. Look at Tesla right now. Wow, getting absolutely punked.
It's still going down.
And then the other trade,
I'm going
to stay away from that for sure. The other trade that I'm looking at is Amazon. If Amazon, this is another name. I thought I wrote it down on here. Yeah, I did. 213 long break if that comes through. Now, it doesn't look like right now Amazon wants to do that, so we're going to wait see if it goes through, but if it does, I'm taking it, and I'm going also long down here at 212. So if Amazon flips up a little bit or slips up and comes back into 212, I'm bidding 212, sorry, oh my God, I'm bidding 202.15. I need to be bidding 212. I'm like, what? Okay, so I did it again. 212.15, okay? We're gonna be bidding something there on Amazon. Hoping that can come in, and then we'll just play it off 212. We'll give it a little bit of room there. Or I still have a break of 213. If we can break 213, I think that's a go. We'll wait to see what happens at VWAP. I don't necessarily want this. Wow. Look at the market really falling back in a little bit here.
Tesla 340.
Yeah, and by the way, as Tesla's, we'll look at that in a second. As Tesla's going down, NVIDIA's going up right now. So I think we'll exit out of some of this NVIDIA for $1, and then we'll wait to see what winds up happening here, because the tech names that are busting out are these ones, chip names, right? So Marvell's going upside. Also, you mentioned Intel before. I don't know if you got into
Intel is strong as well. I mean, Broadcom's another super strong one. I didn't really, it was a crazy fly. I'll get that fly eventually.
I noticed that flyer out.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a big sucker. Broadcom was another really strong one. It was SMCI that wasn't really doing much of anything. Okay. Shout out to you, JT, Trader JT. Hey, we know what JT. Thanks for the super chat. Hey, Canadian dollars, maybe it is. All right. Hi, everyone. I discovered this channel right before the COVID lockdown and have been following ever since. You guys have been a tremendous help in my trading journey. It's truly life-changing for me. Well, we appreciate you, and thank you for the super chat. And we did miss a few super chats. I know sometimes when you're looking for ideas and you're trading, it is easy to miss some of those. And apologies to we have Mark the Realtor was messaging about MSTR a couple of times. Coinbase sympathy play. We did get to Anthony there. I want to thank you all. All we want is, hey, be here, enjoy the show, learn something, get better, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And share it with the community, because we're all stronger together, everybody. So hit the like, subscribe. I think MSTR, I prefer Coinbase and IBIT, but on a day where they're all rallying, it's not as if you can go wrong. So congratulations if you got long in MSTR. I liked IBIT today. We're playing this breakout. See if we can't get past 60 again. That's like 105.5. It's not really like a gigantic level round number or so, but it is respecting this here for now on IBIT. Let's go to Adara.
Here is our crypto update. We're going to start here with this bull flag on BTC in the 15 minutes. This is near term. As you can see here, higher lows versus that 98 low that we made on Sunday, then a higher low around 99,000. Now we're, of course, back above 100,000 and doing this nice little curl at the top of this above that 106,000 level, though notably a lower high than this most recent push into 106 halves. But a little bit of consolidation. Let's see if we break to the upside in this pattern. It does end up being the bull flag that right now it seems to be. But with that being said, when in doubt, zoom out. The daily chart on BTC still looking a little bit bearish here with these lower highs and lower lows from that all-time high of 112,000. Here's BTC, though, up if you're using the Binance chart here, because certain data starts at certain times for Bitcoin. Regardless, up about 3.5%. Ethereum doing quite well, back above 2,400, up 7%. It's a good look for ETH. XRP up 9%. Solana up 7%. Dogecoin up 6%. Cardano up 7%. So some of these altcoins or other entities doing a little bit better than BTC today. Ethereum among them. Back to you.
Well, yeah. MSTR's chart was like way better than I realized when I looked at it, because I was over on IBIT. So it's worth showing, and thank you for the super chats. It is going a little bit parabolic just now through 380. We already showed you guys Coinbase here. That's holding a bull flag while MSTR is making another move up. I did take another leg out on IBIT. It's now holding under that 60 level. We got the dip after the initial break of the range. It dipped back in and held that prior bar. At this point, it just needs to hold on to the volume-weighted average price or so, but it's kind of leveling off. You saw that on Coinbase. You saw that on you see that on IBIT happening as well, despite the fact that MSTR is going higher. So AMD doesn't technically get to VWAP, but remember, VWAP is a line on a chart. It's not. You don't have to be married to it. It did a bit of a bottoming tail under 136 and then broke the next bar up. So I went long. When it broke that, I ended up with 29s, even though that bar is like 22s. Not much slippage or anything, just when we hit the key. Probably could have got a little bit better. I want to see this play back into 138, those highs. On the daily chart, there really isn't much until you get to 144, 145 on AMD. So I think playing every single even dollar just makes sense until you get to something significant. So VWAP bounce-ish on AMD, trend reversal. I'm going to get an offer in front of the 137 level for sure. And my goodness, Tesla. I said 341. It's at 340 and still heading down. There's just not much positive about Tesla right now. Looks like that maybe bigger deal than we anticipated with regards to the investigation. One day, and it's only given back 2%, so I don't want to get like all doom and gloom or anything. Like the stock was at $325 yesterday, still 15 bucks above some key levels, but not looking very good for Tesla. Glad I got away from this one.
Yeah, good look there. Same there on Apple. I love Tesla. Okay, so SPY. Let's check out some QBTS here just to see if there's anything going on in the quantum space. We talked about 15 being a long. It came in and gave you a couple pennies there. Nothing like super exciting here about this play, but 15 did come in up to 15. We'll see if there's any sort of a play off of this level here for QBTS. Rigetti, you have a quick check over there. It's right now 10:35. So yeah, there could be some more plays trying to come through. 1 second, I just got to auto cancel some of those trades because I have to make sure that we watch out for that Amazon. Okay, so Rigetti right now 1150, 1153, starting to go higher. Just right now breaking. So there it is right now. Let's hit the siren up for Rigetti. We're right now $3, actually $3.50 in the money right now. With AMD and with NVIDIA. So we're going to let those chip names sort of just continue to cook a little bit there and look for something else. If we zoom back out on Rigetti, yeah, so this looks like it wants to break, right? I mean, on the daily, you're here. Maybe you got to get a little bit higher than $12 or so. That's $11.65. Yeah, I mean, I like it because it's breaking through the high of the day, but there is some more support, resistance up here anyways. So there's definitely, some sort of a move there possible on Rigetti because we're talking about quantum. Google 167, that's doing okay today as well, up that 1%. Good dip by opportunities. Wow, this looks kind of unique. Bottom, but all these bottoms are higher than the past. So maybe we will wait to see about VWAP of 166.50, looking pretty good there for Google. We do have BBAI as well. That's had a problem at 490, so we'll wait to see where it's going now. But Big Bear AI up to 490 was the high, and now a little bit of a fallback. We just bounced off VWAP. We've seen this name many times make these moves and come back in, even breaking through VWAP. So this is a momentum play, and I missed. We put down 440 as the break. I mean, we talk about, missing trades and not being on them, but right there we have BBAI 440, just wasn't there, right? We were on AMD, we were on looking at Tesla, we were looking at Apple as well. But at the end of the day, Big Bear AI trying to do that. We did get filled in our personal account on JP Morgan. We talked about that. So that's going up to the upside as well. But yeah, so far so good, man. New members, what's up to David Treziak here? We have we have another super chat from JT. At first it was tough to follow trades, yeah, for sure. But over time I learned to trade the way it suits your own style. Nobody here trades the same style, period. So I think that's great. Risk tolerance, I managed to double my portfolio last year, beating everybody here, man, with some unrealized P&L on the table. Congratulations. We're obviously on a prop floor, so we don't have a portfolio per se, but if you're ever doubling anything, man, that's a great time. So congratulations on that as well. And here comes JT Trader again with a Hyundai right there. So thank you so much to JT Trader again. That is now $200 right there. Thank you so much for that. I just started taking profits on some bigger trades. From the liberation dip. Okay, well, there you go. Well, you've been liberated. And I just want to thank everybody behind the show, especially Sean and Neil. Thank you so much. You truly changed my life, and it's incredibly grateful. Thank you. So you are more than welcome. This show has changed my life and made me a 10 times better trader. So I want to thank all of you for that. David, you can never forget, I'm not just talking about the high numbers there, but thank you so much, JT, man. That $200 means a lot to us. We'll get something for the team. Thoughts on if quantum ETF stabilize the volatility of the names like the Swift moves? Thoughts on if quantum ETF stabilize? Yeah, I don't know. I don't really look at, I mean, the quantum ETFs, there's a couple different ones, what, QUTM, I believe. I think you want to stick with the names, especially the names that are working. So like if you're seeing Rigetti today up 7% and QBTS is down or whatever it is, you know, you just want to stick with the names that seem to be working. And I just think momentum is so key, right? You're seeing it in AMD. I mean, this is why AMD has changed lives over the last couple months. It's been huge against what NVIDIA's been not doing too much. So you want to trade the names that have the momentum. It looks like IonQ may have that as well. But anyways, okay. I think we got to go to Neil for a read.
Well, one place to look for momentum is with a good charting platform. And something like eSignal, which, by the way, everybody, it's still free for a month. They're waiving fees over at eSignal. It's a fantastic place where you can test all of your ideas out, whether it's finding new indicators, whether it's back testing existing trading ideas, whether it's executing trades through multiple brokers. It's a customizable, reliable platform that we use every single day here. And whatever your style is, they have something for you. It's an entitlement-based platform, meaning you can add or subtract what you need or what you don't need. You can have level 2 access, so you can see the actual open book, multiple time frames. So if you want to trade, as we say, if you want to trade smarter, not harder, eSignal is for you. First month free. Scan the QR code you see out in front of you. Link is in the description. Shout out to eSignal. And let's go back to the desk. Adara.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here, SMCI, nice push to the upside. This just popped up on my scanner here with the push to the volume to the upside. They're raising $2 billion via private convertible debt with 35% conversion premium. This was announced yesterday. Of course, the stock dropped yesterday on this raise, but now bouncing back pretty nicely. Super micro. Also, just be aware, right now, the person asking Jerome Powell questions is actually, I guess, the chair of crypto and AI, or digital assets and AI, for this Congress committee. So just be aware. Digital asset related individual asking questions. Right now, nothing huge has come up from Powell's responses, but just be aware this is occurring. Back to you.
Yeah, good to know. So if I see any spikes, maybe he says. But I mean, does it really matter what he says about crypto? What's he going to say that's going to move the needle? I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate on it. For now, it's still up. Bitcoin, at least, or IBIT, is still upward trending. But there's been multiple fails at $60 here on IBIT. A couple of wicks. This is going to be, knock on wood, this would be the first close of a candle above 60, which would set hopefully a new range where you can buy out and about above the top. I think it's got room to 60.40 is the next stop here on IBIT in particular. 105.5 just proving to be a bit of a problem, but it's certainly holding the trend as far as I can see. And in the space, you know, you got to give some respect to some other names out here. Robinhood, we showed Coinbase, MSTR, shout out to those that have been following along on that trade, that's gone parabolic. Robinhood with the new 52-week high, saw someone in the chat say all-time highs for Robinhood. Still got $4 to go. I believe the all-time high is a little closer to 85, but a fantastic move. You're just pick and grip something in the space, and I think you are looking all right. As far as Circle, I thought maybe there'd be a little bit more with Circle, but look, Circle's not participating in this move. Unfortunately, the exuberance possibly coming out of it. It hasn't lost a bid. It's just not really breaking out at all with the rest of the crypto space. So go chips, go crypto. For anyone long Circle, I really hope it works for you. I'm just not really seeing any reason to jump into this name. No big parabolic move down to revert. No breakouts. Just kind of a weak day overall for Circle, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's always going to be.
Oh, CoreWeave's strong.
We talked about Circle giving some up, so Circle gets the square again today. All right, so there goes Big Bear AI.
Oh my God.
Another huge move, up 17% again, right there. Powell talking about banking and crypto sector, of course. Again, we've already gotten out of some of our JP Morgan here today as well, up to from 230 to 281. Man, we couldn't be happier with our JP Morgan trading. But that was a good one there. So nice move upside. I mean, it's too bad that we had to hold that against ourselves. Should have bought a little bit more. We also talked about today getting into some oil trades. So right into there in August. I said that oil possibly had at least looked like, and I don't know, it's not really moving back up, a potential bottom here in and around 65, 64.50 or so. So we'll watch out to see what oil's doing. It's been moving down. We had a big volume spike. That's yesterday. As you come in, there's the open here today, 66.50. Does get back up there. It is making a move down. There's our 64.80. I think we're pretty close maybe to a bottom there in crude. But of course, very, very news centered. Again, thank you so much, JT, Trader JT, in the chat for all of your super chats. It means a lot to all of us here. So let's go over to Adara.
Just so you guys know, right now, Powell's saying that rental inflation is apparently coming down regularly. So just, I guess, one aspect of inflation on watch here. Also on watch this whole market mostly to the upside. Technology services, Oracle up a cool 3%. Netflix up 1.5%. Google and Meta both strong. Microsoft a little bit choppy here. Again, Xbox layoffs apparently coming next week, according to Bloomberg. But generally, this technology services sector holding up really well. Electronic technology, with the exception of Apple, and oddly enough, some of these defense plays like RTX, looking pretty good as well. NVIDIA and Broadcom both nicely to the upside, so keep an eye on these chips. Finance, pretty green. Retail trade, Amazon really holding down the fort, but some of these other names pretty weak. Health technology looking decent. Consumer services with lots of strength. Of course, keep an eye on some of these cruise lines. We have, this is going to be RCL, up 3% after Carnival reported earnings this morning. Producer manufacturing, transportation, process industries, utilities all strong. Consumer durables actually notably a red spot. Tesla dragging this group down, though a lot of these other names, as you can see, are actually green. And then we have energy and minerals to the downside, of course, after the ceasefire announcement between Israel and Iran. So generally, regardless of how you slice it, these sectors are going to be pretty green. Back to you.
Yeah, CCL, 10% for CCL.
I was wondering about what tie he was wearing there. I was trying.
Wow, what's he?
Looks purple again to me. This guy's loving.
Is that purple? Yeah, it's purple.
Laurier purple over there. All right. All right. Yeah, it looks like purple to me. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I'm kind of just doing the same old stuff, man. We're now $1.20 in the money on NVIDIA and $2.20 in the money on AMD, and looking for $5 break on Big Bear AI. I mean, if this happens, the other trade was, I don't know, it's just, I didn't take any of these top breaks. It has to break an even dollar level. I'm not even in love. Oh, okay. Why didn't I get, okay, 212.25. Okay, too bad. Still waiting for a 213 break to happen here on Amazon. I'm not sure it's going to be a great trade. We only have 10 minutes now until I'm out of here, but here comes Amazon right now looking to break through 213. If it does break, which it's close, I mean, why wouldn't it break? Why don't we just use this 50 area? I mean, we could go all the way back. How many shares am I trying to do? Okay. So yeah, maybe we should only lose if we lose a 212.50 or so. So let's watch out, man. We were right back up to this high again. We're going long on a break of Amazon. It's on the sticky note. I want to try it. Look, we ignored our sticky note levels on Uber, and they would be 250 in the money right now. So we should take it and just see what winds up happening. There's Amazon right now. Again, we never get good fills, but that's okay. 04s, we'll wait to see. I see an 02 right there still. But so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you get that break, and then they just sit there on the level and bring this thing back down to sort of test what your tolerance is here for an L. So let's wait to see what happens there. This is what, we've already coined this, sort of the break and fake. So right there, that's what's happening right now. Breaking above 212. We're out of the set money now, 20 cents on this trade. Not great, but we'll hold it. I still believe in it. AMD is now $3 in the money and trying to go higher right now. So is NVIDIA, but Amazon is our newest position and our biggest position. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Here's a little bit of a move down. Let's buy some of this dip there and then see if it can get back to the upside. So we just bought some right there. It looks like it's going.
Yeah, and a bounce, we already mentioned, IBIT's coming back. It's weird, man. IBIT's coming back down at the exact same moment that AMD's going back up. But the chips are doing their own thing, so fair enough. 137 incoming on AMD. I don't want it rejecting the same top that it did on this move here at 137.5. So I'm going to slap a trail if it can close above 137. I'll slap a trail on it. Otherwise, I'll be watching the book. But IBIT just now, when everything seemed like we were going right back through the highs. I mean, the Nasdaq is. So I don't want to say anything bad about the market. It's trying to break out those highs. IBIT with a bit of a pullback. I'm not at the point yet that I want to be buying above the 60 level, but I don't want it to lose 60 and then wait around for VWAP. That'll be two separate trades. So I'm canceling my stop underneath VWAP, and I'll trail it at 60 and reload at the volume weighted average price. Just want to continue to play the trend that we see over there. So AMD good, right now IBIT good. I mean, Indo's not really doing anything, just kind of sliding down like it was earlier. I still can't get a reload on the offer of that thing. But what I don't like, and I suppose you could just be shorting Tesla. I'll leave it at that. It looked like Tesla had just broken the trend. Anyways, it's right back into the lows. So Tesla looked like it had broken the trend. It's right back to the bottoms. I see you mentioning ARM, Appleless, Flash. I love ARM. I know ARM broke the 150 level. This was my dip buy. This is the only thing that I actually got in that April bottom, and it broke out the 150. So I'll slap a fail on myself because I'm pretty sure yesterday I said I would take this break at 150 on ARM, and then I plumb forgot about it because we were looking at every other chip name. That said, it didn't really give you the break. You had to take the dip back into 150. So it's not an excuse. It's just what happened. It gapped above the level, but that just means you should play the dip back into 150. But all the chip names are strong. Look, I'm not saying investing is easy, but you got to pick something that you like, and then when moves like this happen, hopefully something that you like gives you that dip, and then you're able to catch it. That's all. And if you get it on the way back up, what's wrong with, you can always get it when it's breaking back out or making higher lows, whatever. These all look pretty fantastic. Yeah, I mean, well, with the exception, not all of them, like SMCI is not the best looking chart in the world. That said, it's not like you could have lost if you bought that dip in April either, but they don't all look like Micron and AMD and ARM, but even SMCI, like it doesn't look like much. That's a 50% move from the lows. Those April bottoms, you need to buy something down there. And as long as you have something you're willing to dip buy in any downturn, I think you're absolutely fine. Just have some conviction in it. All right, AMD can't seem to get to 137.5. Kind of checking up at that 137. I'm just going to be tape watching this 137 break and see if there's enough strength in it the second time through. If not, I'll just pop out and wait for VWAP again.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like we may take, we'll stop at fail right now on Amazon. We're not out quite yet, but it is failing off of that. As the market comes back in, it's failing off that 213. So we could have taken it the other way as well. We were pretty bullish on the name. I've really liked Amazon here, but if it breaks through to 212.50, I do have some offers a little bit lower than that to get out on that kind of a break. It has not been trading well, and it's been 5 minutes of straight down. So there's the break and the fake, and now it's going to be bad. But we're right back in here, so we did average it in. We're long now at 86. It looks like this will be an L right here for us today. Sucks because we'll give obviously something back on what we've made here, but yeah, it is a downside push right now on Amazon. So here we go, starting to break a little bit lower through 212.47, looking lower. I'm going to get out on this 212.40 break. That's where my stop was, so we're going to wait for that. Looks like what's imminent right now on that break lower. Looks like it'll be a 50-cent hit here on Amazon, which does suck, man. Eats into the profits that we had on the day, but we'll wait. See, still 10 cents away from that, so we're going to wait on it. But yeah, not great trade action right now on Amazon. NVIDIA upside, AMD upside. So all of those trades seem to be working out fine. It is just Amazon right now, the one that looks to go lower. And yeah, unfortunately, missed there on Amazon. So
yeah, just
yeah, go ahead. No, I'm done. I was waiting.
Well, you'll see. I'm no longer in IBIT. I'm no longer in AMD. I'll show you IBIT. I said it couldn't seem to get past that 60-10. Once it got back under 60, I would dip out and then see if it holds VWAP. I'm not going to just sit there on the bid at the volume weighted average price. I want to see it bounce first, try to get a consolidation and a better entry there. And then AMD, it tried to close above 137. Right, but it failed the 137 that second time, so we hopped out of it. I think we can if we get back into the volume weighted average price, maybe I take another shot in AMD. But that's scalp trade at this time of day makes sense. We got about 8 minutes to go till we throw you guys over to the Bash Brothers. But before we do that, maybe we should see how the U.S. dollar is doing with Adara.
Yeah, do this
or not. Yeah.
Put it very simply, the U.S. dollar is not doing particularly well. We gapped down here on the DXY. So you guys can see that nice gap down. Yesterday we closed around, where is this, like 90, it's 98.35. We opened today around 98.15, so a little bit of a gap down, but we have yet to take out this low that we had that recent support at around 97. Where is this? 97.6. So let's see what happens there. This dollar, though, is certainly pretty weak. And Fed Chair Jerome Powell actually saying that there's no need to be overly dramatic about the shift out of the dollar. So Powell here acknowledging people are shifting away from the dollar, but saying that there's no reason to, I guess, overthink it or make it to be more than it is. Fed's Hammock also talking here about the U.S. dollar. This is Fed's Hammock here saying that they're not seeing a move to abandon the dollar, but just a move to a more neutral weight. So Fed's Hammock commenting about the dollar, and Fed's Powell also saying that it's important for the Fed to wait and see, which is what they're doing. He also said that they're expecting tariff inflation to show up more at some point, but they don't know how much it's going to be passed to consumers. The CME FedWatch tool is not showing a change. Still, about 84% of participants are not expecting a cut or a raise at the next meeting in July. Back to you.
I just want to rant for a second.
Go.
Because here, I'm going to show you. Look, man, sometimes it's been a good morning, but I like to be self-deprecating. Uber's up 7% today. And you would have heard me say, and I said this multiple times. I'm going to pull up Tesla. I said this multiple times. At each point when I took a swing trade on Tesla off 220, I have a long-term position on Tesla. That's a different story. But every point at which I got out of this, I took some out in front of the 200-period moving average. I got trailed out some when it broke down through 310. I'm going to get the rest out if we get a push into 420 or if we lose the 200-period moving average. Every single time, those other 2 times I sold, I said, I'm going to take that money and put it into Uber. I didn't. I hate cash on the sidelines, but when you have somewhere that you want profits to go, there we go. Shout out to Blue Ocean. Overnight markets are fantastic. Maybe you should just go ahead and do it. At every single point, that would have made sense. Uber's about to make a breakout. Okay, let's not jinx it here. Uber's about to get to the 52-week high and might do it here today, or at least attempt to get adjacent to it here today. So anyways, I don't want to chase anything at this time of day. Maybe there's a join that you can try to pull here on Uber. My focus is going to stay sort of where we are on AMD, IBIT, hopefully. Like AMD, if it pulls back, maybe we get VWAP again, although I don't know if VWAP looks as good if we put a lower high going into it. Maybe you break VWAP and pull back into 134 or 133 as well. As far as Bitcoin goes, we couldn't seem to break away too far. I don't know why is this not over here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't like the scaling. There we go. It doesn't pull back too far into the volume-weighted average price. I think it was a good trend break to get out, but it doesn't give me the dip to reload. I only want to be long IBIT today. Higher lows are working on this, so it's a name that I look to get back into, but I'm not going to try to chase this. It's 10:55. This is a time of the day where I think setups need to be more A+. Higher percentage, much more clean, especially as you're going into lunchtime. You don't want to give away the morning profits. So yeah, might have missed an opportunity to buy that dip again here in IBIT, but it doesn't mean I'm going to chase it up at this 60 level. We'll see if we can't get VWAP there, see if we can't get VWAP on AMD, and as everyone's talking about SMCI. SSR today, short sell restricted. Sometimes the bounces are even greater when that's the case. I mean, I'd say slap the fail on it, but I mean, I can't pretend that I was looking at SMCI over AMD or NVIDIA. That just wasn't the case. This gets much more exciting if it fills in the gap on SMCI. They had an offering yesterday. That's why they were down. And now a nice relief rally with the rest of the market. So good luck if you're long this name. You just had to pick your chip name. I think they're all good. You just had to make sure you pick one of them and then go for it.
We have...
Go ahead.
Yeah. We'll I just want to talk quickly here because Uber... Again, I need to set up some sort of an algo that just takes whatever trades. If I'm not looking at them or not confident, just take whatever trades you write down. There's Uber 88.50. It's 91.60 right now. Talk about missed opportunities, something that we actually wrote down. BBAI 440 also. So crazy, but some of the trades work and some of them don't. We're going to go to Adara, then it's everyone's favorite segment.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at OGen. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE listed Oragenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Orogenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
The game tonight.
All right, right here. Let's go find out what's for lunch just real quickly. Then we got to get out of here. I'm still shook from Uber. Today's lunch should be a good one. I mean, we've had this many times. As long as it's right, I think people will be happy. Black pepper beef with steamed jasmine rice, garlic bok choy, Asian slaw, and fortune cookies. I mean,
fortune cookies. That's the first
with fortune cookies. So that's what we're doing right now. This trade on Uber, man, it's like so crazy that we missed it. Like we had this written down at 88.50, and it was, yes, my friend, this is what I'm trying to say. Sharif just getting back here, realizing what Uber is doing. There's 88.50. So we had that written down. There it goes. Uber upside. Look, man, we're long $66 or something like that. So this is a great move up for Uber. We were talking yesterday about possibly selling some of this because of how it looks on the daily chart. Probably will do that. We sold some JP Morgan today. I'm just upset because, we could have made, well, it doesn't matter. Whatever we could have made. We'll make it tomorrow. But nice move there on Uber. All right, AMD. This is why we can't be that upset. AMD is $3, right? NVIDIA adds another $1 to that as well. And then Amazon, we've lost on Amazon. And we lost small. We lost decent on Amazon. We lost small on Apple. But Apple, again, down to that $200 mark, comes right into Apple. And that might be something as well. But here's the market just trying to pull back a little bit into VWAP, into the 50-period moving average. We have to watch out to see what happens today with the Nasdaq. But yeah, nicely traded, I feel like. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. I want to give one more shout out, of course, to JT Trader there. $100, talking about how, he's taking on his own trades now, and that he's learned a lot. He's been here since COVID. So thank you so much to JT Trader there for your $200 in Super Chats. And it's Canadian, so I wonder, you let us know what part of Canada or you're from or living in right now or whatever, if you do want to include that. Thank you so much, Cal Mando, right there. I do appreciate you as well. So, all right, so here we go, man. Here comes Amazon right back into 212 again. So, yeah, the market taking a nice little dump here for sure. Yeah, before we send you guys to the middays, again, thank you, JT. Appreciate you. Kings are doing pretty well. Although I forgot to make a note about the new NBA champions that I'll say in a quick little second. But I got to go market first because something's going on here in Palantir, and I'm going to take a breakout on okay, I don't want to jinx this, but I'm taking a 142.25 break on Palantir. Somebody's maybe in control at 142. That's now 3 days in a row we've had a wick top at 142. But what I like about the potential breakout, yesterday, you rinsed the bottom, so you might have gotten anybody that was out long in this range. There's some of them might have got taken out when it broke 137 and really rinsed that bottom. And you put another rinse bottom at a higher low. Like, look at the reversal candle at the open. That's like $5 down, right back up on Palantir. So if it consolidates up here, I want a 142.25 break on PLTR. Maybe you trap some shorts. You've certainly rinsed out some of those longs. But I wanted to shout out Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is not only the NBA champion and Canadian, but both of his parents, both his mother and father, were born in the beautiful island of Antigua. And one of them was a track champion for 400. His mom was a 400-meter runner for Antigua. Antigua of 100,000 people, breeding athletes. Not myself, but certainly others. And of course, Dort. Dort is also a Canadian as well, who played just north of who. Well, every major sport, all the MVPs in the playoffs are from Canada. Except for NFL. We have there's not really a playoff MVP in NFL. There's Freddie. There isn't one actually at all, but there's Freddie Freeman, Canadian, Shai, and Bennett, Sam Bennett there. So Canada taking over the sports world right there. And then we have that one soccer player. I forget his name. We played for Bayern. What's his name? Alphonso Davies. I don't know. Is he any good still? Yeah, there you go. So, he's maybe not at the level of the other guys. Oh, shoot, I got to go. It's swimming time. All right, thank you, everybody. See you later over to the Get him, Bash Brothers. Yeah, earn that donut.
Boom! Greetings and salutations. beautiful people? Welcome to the Midday Show. That's your boy, Joey Options, who's in a good mood.